Hey, this is Mike Herrera. You're listening to Magnified Pod.
This is a yelling podcast. From poking at you to plans and everything in between, this is Magnified Pod, the only podcast that discusses culture, religion, politics, and the entire discography of everyone's favorite left coast punks, MXPX.
Yeah,
And we're back.
we are.
I'm Andrew.
I'm John.
This is our podcast.
Correct.
John, how are you? How are you feeling?
I'm good, man. We had to postpone some recording because Chicago got hit with some serious snow. So
That is true.
shoveling today.
Mm-hmm.
Went sledding.
Oh, yeah?
Kids kind of took each other out on the sled.
Did you get down with one of those saucers?
I didn't.
Hurl your body down a hill.
That sounds wonderful. We just have this little thing that I could not possibly fit on, but I was thinking I should just go get one of those saucers so I can just fly down myself.
So as a kid, I had so much more I was so much gutsier as a kid.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you mean I'm at the top of a hill of ice
Right.
and I put my body unprotected on this rocket saucer and I throw myself down this hill
Makes
with
sense.
no way to stop myself? Perfect. Let's do this.
Punk as hell.
I know. And I remember hurting my ass once because I hit a bump.
Ooh.
And then you just there's the smallest bit of plastic between your tailbone
Yeah.
and solid ice. And you're just oh man,
Not
that
great.
hurts like hell.
How are you doing?
Well, after last week, you were still coughing, and I was starting to feel something Friday afternoon, and I powered through the pod, and then come Saturday morning, I was just
Oh boy.
it's go time.
Yeah.
And I've been sick this whole week. I don't know if you can tell.
You sound fine.
I do sound fine?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was wondering if I had to do this a couple days ago, my voice would not have been in a good potting shape.
Yeah.
So, but I'm feeling a lot better. Still have some of those residual coughs
Yeah.
and
I know what that's like.
those nose blows, but I think we are both finally on the mend.
Yeah, we're getting better.
Yeah, but but John,
Yes.
sickness aside, there's something that happened this week
Big week.
that was amazing.
Finally.
MXPX,
Uh-huh.
5 Iron Frenzy,
That's right.
Chicago, Illinois, March 29th and 30th,
Boom.
Bottom Lounge. It's happening.
Could not be more psyched.
No,
for the lineup, the venue,
Dude,
2 nights in a row.
this was what we've been talking about for so long.
Yeah.
And we might actually be able to heard that sound
Yeah.
with some 5 Iron horns.
Now, what's funny, what April was saying about how pretty much every time she goes,
Yeah,
5 Iron is playing with them, and she's heard it before. And when I was just telling you before we started recording that when I texted my friend about the show, I was like, you got to fly out for this. And he's like, we just saw this lineup 5 years ago. I was like, that was before the pod.
Yep.
And probably at that show, they did heard that sound, but it didn't register for
Yeah.
me. So this time it's going to feel very different. And
Yep.
I'm so psyched.
But not only that, you're talking about our boy Tyler Day,
That's right.
who we interviewed for the Before Everything and
Everything.
After
Yep.
episode. Tyler, the new album
Yeah,
wasn't
man.
out then.
Come on.
So we have 11 new bangers
And the Horns EP.
and the Horns EP
So I assume means there'll be some more
and
5 Iron cuts.
the Best Life EP.
Oh, man.
Got also that San Dimas High School Football
Yeah.
Rules Atari's cover.
Exciting.
Dude, that that song, the recording sounds amazing.
It's real good.
It's like the drums on it, just like, you can't fault necessarily the Ataris, like, for a song that, like, nowadays it just sounds so much cleaner than their version does.
Right.
But anyway, there's just so much potential for these shows to be so fucking epic.
I am very pumped. We
And-
should call out the sweet Ferris Bueller poster.
I was so excited to see that.
Yeah.
We got our boy
Justin Gray.
Yeah.
Born to Build.
Burn to Build.
Burn to Build.
Burn.to.build
Cooler.
on Instagram. He's done a bunch of the MXPX posters, 2 of which I own. The Zebrahead one, the Mario, and then the Zelda one with the 5-Iron show when they played in Texas.
So rad.
So this one is shout out to Chicago, Ferris Bueller during the parade. Got a whole bunch of Easter eggs in here. Got the Blues Brothers. You got Malort.
Yeah, I love that.
You got the 5-Iron Skank and Robot. But I can only assume over here on the right, maybe like a piece of deep dish pizza. I can't really
That sounds
tell.
right.
I can't really tell what that is.
I tried to do a real deep dive into all the Easter eggs, and then my eyes sort of just glazed over at some point. But I'm sure there's like deep cuts all over the place.
There's like Cyclops for some reason.
I see. That was one that I was like, I feel like I should understand what this is a reference to. Some sort of 5-Iron Cyclops reference sounds vaguely familiar.
Okay.
I don't know. Let us know what we're getting wrong, everybody.
Right. It's dope.
Real cool.
I really appreciate the attention to detail for our beloved city.
It will be on sale at the show, which everybody should go to,
Yes.
regardless of where you live in the country.
Yeah, they on the Mike Herrera podcast,
Yes.
he had said, so I honestly have no idea what the rest of this year is going to look like for them.
Right.
Because he said that if you're in the Midwest, this is your chance. So I don't think
No tour, perhaps.
I don't think so. I don't know if there's going to be a big, massive tour.
Yeah. Well, they're coming here.
They're coming here.
That's all
So
I care about.
if you are in Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Indiana,
Yeah.
Nikki P in Tennessee, bro,
That's right.
I don't know.
It's not that long a drive.
Yeah, get up here and do your, solid 10-hour drive.
Is it that far?
It's a long drive.
Okay.
Yeah, depending on how much you stop. If you take
Sure.
57 or 65,
Yeah.
Nikki P, get at me. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. But we will do some sort of formal meetup at some point for the
Yes.
pod that weekend.
Yes.
Details forthcoming. But yeah, if you're coming out for that, we hope you come hang out with us too. We will buy our Patreon punks a beer. Maybe other people too.
I'm not made of money, John.
Yeah, that's true. Mike will buy you a beer.
Yes, Mike. You can tell him we sent you.
Yeah, that's right.
John, before we get too much further into anything, we're doing Tumbledown.
Yeah.
So
Let's drink.
let's drink.
Yeah.
Boom.
There we go.
So if we're going to be doing any...
Sounds great.
Yep. I just poured myself
I was
a
like,
lot of
that's
whiskey.
a big pour.
That is a big pour. I don't think I'm going to need much more for this episode. Jesus. Well,
It just sounded so good. You
it
had to
did.
keep
It
going.
was. I was focusing on the ASMR, and there we go. Got them rocks.
Some stones.
Get them
Whiskey
stones.
stones.
Boom. All right. So,
Cheers, man.
cheers, bro.
Tumbledown Part 2
Yeah, dude.
coming at you. That's good.
I'll get you. All right. So, before we get too far into talking anything about Tumbledown, let's go back a couple episodes because we have some voicemails.
Can I leave you a message on your machine?
From Nicky P.
Okay.
That he wants to address a few things from our Arthur episode.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, my dudes. It is Nicky P back on the pod. I just wanted to make a couple of notes from last episode. Number one, I love that candy has become part of like the meta of the Magnified Pod. It's great. April, motherfucking badass, bringing out some sour Skittles. Fantastic GMO candy. The superior fruit candy to Starburst. But sour apple is the greatest. Did you guys ever put those in like Zimas or whatever? Like I did it post when they brought it back because I'm, a wee tyke. But the Zimas and the sour Skittles is, mwah. Number two, commenting on Arthur. I never really listened to Arthur because even the re-release in 210, I just never got into him. But I listened to the second album. And I was digging it. The first one, not so much, but the second one, I was digging it. I'll give further details. And back to the candy. Reese's reigns supreme as GMO peanut butter candy.
Yep.
And number three, I just wanted to give some love. I felt like there was some negativity in the last episode. It was handled well, but I just wanted to say, to a lot of people. I mean, we got Daniel Leary, the god, the myth, the legend. MXPX memes, Lord, bringing out the opening song "Punk Rock Show" for his set list. That was a controversial dive, and he did it bravely, and I'm proud to be part of this proud family. And I just wanted to give some love to my boy Andrew. Andrew, you are a freaking god, my guy. You got some hate. And this isn't pity. This is because I know, from what I've interacted, you're a good dude. You're confident in your values, and if you've got something to say about something, you're gonna fucking say it unapologetically.
True.
And I respect that because I'm not like that. And John's an agreeable dude, and I like him because that's But Andrew brings the necessary commentary and being the devil's advocate. So anyway, dude, I really enjoy both of you guys, and I love being a part of the Magnified family. Anyway, Magnified Pod for life. Many smooches. Peace.
Nicky P.
Nichols.
Our boy Nichols.
Thank you, brother.
We got so much love for our dude Nichols.
That was great.
Yeah, man. So much to digest from that single voicemail. First off, he talked about Zima.
Yes.
So technically, it was Jolly Ranchers that was the candy of choice that you would drop in the Zimas. But you know what? Live your best life.
That's right.
Throw whatever flavored fruit candy.
If your best life involves Zima, more power to you. I do remember trying. There's a Simpsons joke about Skittlebrow, where Homer's looking for a beer that has Skittles floating in it, and then realizes it was a dream he had. So I remember creating some sort of beer Skittle concoction at one point, and it didn't go great, but that's the closest I got.
I can't imagine. I mean, because so much of the flavors got to come from masticating it and chewing it. I don't like something like a Jolly Rancher.
Yeah,
I imagine would dissolve a little bit easier than something with a hard candy shell or coating.
I think this is our next step post candy deliberation is we need to start combining the candy and the liquor elements of the show into one.
Absolutely.
Voltron-like force.
Yes, we will. I will be the bumblebee to your
Optimus Prime.
Optimus Prime, I guess. So, John, we should say we brought candy this
Yeah,
week.
well,
So
You came correct with the
Yeah.
sour variety.
I got some sour Skittles. I got some original Skitties. And some Sour Patch Kids because
Oh, geez.
those are my fucking jam.
Yep.
So they have so many flavor varieties
It's true.
of Sour Patch Kids now. And newsflash, they have sour Starbursts.
Oh, I think I have
Are
seen
you
that.
familiar with this?
think
And
so.
so I was looking at the flavor profile. Guess what there isn't a sour version of?
What are we?
Lemon.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was going for.
So they have them for the other ones, but not for lemon.
Yeah, there's
Interesting.
pretty. Yeah, I didn't see orange. It was pretty much just all the
And Starburst was like, "Fuck that flavor."
exactly because they know the deal. But we'll be getting to these candies in a little bit, and we're going to be talking about some of those more. Also, Nikki P, thank you for the nice things you said.
Yeah, man.
You are certainly a part of the MagPod family, and we're hoping to have a MagPod family gathering of
right.
sorts in
Yeah.
Chicago in March,
Yep.
and it's gonna be off the hook.
We'll let you carve the vegan turkey.
That's right.
Yes.
You know, we'll gather around the table, and we will give thanks to our Lord and Savior Mike Herrera.
That's right. Yes. Shouts to Andrew generally for his name having been besmirched over recent weeks. I appreciate
yeah.
Nikki coming to your defense.
Yep.
That is all correct. And also correct that I'm the guy that goes, yeah, that's true. And just kind of keeps rolling with it. So
No, I mean, so the thing to know about John is that, I mean, we've discussed this on the pod before, that he's, as Nikki said, agreeable. That might not be the best word to describe him, but I would say, I think you said that you're not one to get into altercations or like,
yeah,
if there's an uncomfortable situation, you're just gonna
I swerve.
you extract yourself
Yeah.
from that, and maybe this is why people think I'm the asshole, because I hold a hard and fast opinion on some things.
Sure.
But that's not to say John doesn't have opinions.
No, I do.
John has thoughts and ideas.
I do. And sometimes I feel bad about that like you were saying, well, you're not concerned about like sharing them on social media or whatever, but that like, should I have more whatever backbone to get into it a little more when I'm talking in person? But this could be something we talk about sometime on the pod, maybe as Enneagram stuff. But like,
I think we should. I think we've mentioned it,
we probably, kind of
briefly.
in passing, but
and I think that's when we brought up maybe some of our
Okay.
dynamics. So, but I think we should do maybe a deeper dive.
Yeah, that could be worth doing.
Enneagram, talk about, because you are a 2.
9.
Dane is a 2.
Dana's your wife.
Dana's
I'm
my
your
wife.
co-host.
Yeah. All right,
I always get those confused.
God damn it, John. I was trying to think about who in my life is a 2.
Yeah.
Dana is I thought you guys were, I feel like there's some similarities between 2s and 9s.
Yeah, I can see that. I think, yeah, so the only reason I even referenced it was because 9s, their like type is peacemaker, which is
Right.
basically like your worst nightmare is like rocking the boat or being in the middle of an uncomfortable situation. Like your jam is
Yeah.
everybody feeling cool, and
Right.
like,
Right.
which can be good. It's a helpful dynamic sometimes, but other times it's like people tend to get mad at 9s because they think that like there's a perception that you're just calm and collected, but really like you have anxiety underneath and you're like
Right.
internally raging. And
Yeah. And are you the like, so what do you want to do tonight? Whatever you want, man. Like, I don't.
100%.
Yeah.
Before I had the language to say 9 and Enneagram and stuff, when I lived in community and sojourners in a house with 11 other people, which is too many people,
Fact.
it became known as U4 dubs, which was up for whatever, which was my response to anything. And like before I even realized it became a thing, everybody was like, "Let me guess, you're up for whatever." So I would just start replying to emails where it's like, "What do you want to do? Should we do this or this?" I'd just be like, U4W."
That's funny.
Good story.
Let's can you tell it again? It was great.
Yeah. Well,
So you were
I was a little boy.
You wanted to be a big boy. All right. So Nikki P has another follow-up voicemail.
Hello, dudes. It's Nick P once more. I usually don't leave multiple messages, but I feel like there were some things I forgot to address. Number one, I am sincerely grateful for the compliments on my silver pipes of a voice. I appreciate you guys saying that. It makes me feel good, and it doesn't make me feel like I want to be stoner. So I appreciate that. Number two, I hope that some audio quality is better. I forgot to address that too. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. It's been happening when I've left a couple voicemails or called in places where my audio is just terrible, and I think it's just because I'm just not a very good millennial, which is fine, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. I think that's it. Anyway, many smooches, magnified pod for life.
Well,
Thanks, Steve.
we're not going to hold the audio against you. I mean, you're pretty consistent, so no worries about that. So going from the Nikki P positivity train, we're going to jump on to, a little bit of taking us down a notch, me specifically.
Hey, Andrew and John, it's April. This message is specifically for Andrew for saying some bullshit about how I like pop country, because that's not true. So I just wanted to set the record straight, because I'm more into the Texas country, old school sounding, whatever. Jason Aldean was rock country, which is why I got into country in the first place. So anyways, I have a lot more things to say about other topics that have been discussed, but I needed to get that one cleared out. MagPod for life.
Thanks, April.
So here's the thing, and I texted April almost right after she left this voicemail, because, and what I told her, and she actually explains a little bit more in depth in a voicemail, is that, so I have come to country music much later in life. Sure. And so I said, honestly, I'm sorry, I don't really know the best ways to classify
I
country.
don't know what Texas country is, to be honest.
I don't either. And she's talked to me about Jason Aldean 100 million times, and so I guess I can intellectually it makes sense that there are varying rock styles of country, that it's not all going to be pop, it's not all going to be really bluegrassy or twangy. It might be a little. We talked about our boy Sturgill Simpson, how he's a little bit more, Kentucky kind of country roots style with a little bit of what's the word I'm looking for?
Maybe Americana?
Yeah, maybe a little Americana. So my bad. Pop country. In a recent text exchange with Danny Stairs and April, I said that pop country is the Jar Jar Binks of music.
I would co-sign that statement.
It's just there's no substance to it.
Right.
If you can, it's so formulaic.
Right.
And I think that's what bothers me so much. And it doesn't even necessarily need to be, it's not that that style of music is the only one that makes formulaic music. It's just it doesn't do anything for me,
right,
in the slightest.
Yeah.
It just seems derivative and lazy.
Yeah.
Do you remember hearing that back in the day that somebody put those two Nickelback songs over each other,
they're
and
like the same
the
thing.
exact same
That's
thing.
interesting.
I'm gonna pull that up while you
Okay.
say,
Well,
you're gonna say something.
I was smiling while you were talking about that just now because I was going to bring this up later when we get into the second Tumbledown record, but there's a particular song, speaking of the Before Everything and After Pod,
Yeah.
that reminded me of that riff we went on about how Kings of Hollywood is basically a pop country song.
Yes.
That it could be very easily transposed into one.
Right.
So I've been walking around in my head all day going, left coast punk rock, that's our scene. Anyway.
Get a little steel guitar.
That's right. So there's a steel guitar later that reminded me of that. We'll get into that later.
That's really funny. So here, somebody put "How You Remind Me" and "Someday" over each other by Nickelback.
Let's hear it. Yeah.
Okay, so
That's
we don't
amazing.
need. Yeah. And the first time I heard that, I was like, Jesus Christ, guys! It's like they have like the same. It's the same tempo.
Yeah.
It's like it's in the same key.
Instruments come in at the same moment.
They come in the same moment. It just
That's the only thing I like more than Nickelback is double Nickelback, so it's really great.
have you so
Dimebag.
it makes me think of that Parks and Rec where Leslie goes on to the Pawnee community radio. It's like their version of like NPR, and
Jazz times jazz equals
yeah,
jazz.
jazz plus jazz equals jazz, and it's just like multiple jazz, two different jazz tracks playing at the same time. And he says, our statistics show that our listeners really love jazz.
Yeah, so wonderful.
And his name is Derry Merbles, which is like
Oh man,
the most like.
good knowledge of that deep cut.
Yeah, I mean it's Dan Castellaneta
Yeah.
who plays.
Speaking of Homer,
Plays Derry Merbles, which is like the most like Mike Schur, Amy Poehler name
yeah,
ever.
totally.
It's the best.
Oh man,
Let's so in our previous ep we talked about the purity movement.
right.
Sex, body, shame, feelings about kind of like where we came from in this issue. And April has a voicemail kind of sharing a little bit more in depth about her experience since her only response to our question on Instagram was, fuck you, I'm getting laid.
Right.
So she has a little bit more to say.
Hello, Andrew and John. It's your one true love, April. I am calling.
I mean, she's not correct
Yeah.
in how things have been going lately. So
Yeah, we'll see what Danny stares. He might feel a little hurt by that. But,
yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, he's under the stairs right now. So
yeah, you can't talk to him under that.
yeah. Hey, Andy, can you run and get? Can you run and get Danny stairs?
Yeah, let me get him. I'm just brewing some stuff over here.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
To weigh in on this whole purchase thing because, as you know, I grew up in a super strict, conservative, cultish church, and they were all about the courtship. I mean, it was like crazy. I remember being at church on a Thursday night, like for Bible study, and there was this video about why courtship is awesome, and it showed this couple that the closest they were allowed to be to each other was to have a Bible, like a shared Bible, open in between their laps, but they were never allowed to be alone together, and they weren't allowed to touch each other, hold hands, kiss, anything. And that was basically my mom's dream for me. And
You know, as we all know, the Bible is the original cock block. You know, just
Very true.
as long as you have a Bible on your lap, your
You're
boner.
good to go. you gotta leave room for the Holy Spirit.
Yep.
as you know, my little comment was just kind of putting it in a funny way, but I really thought that was all messed up. So I didn't date. I wasn't allowed to. But I think that even just in the fact that I wasn't allowed to date and was so, I don't know, I guess constricted, it kind of screwed me up in relationships when I finally was with people. So there's all that. There's just all kinds of toxicity. But I guess I had some sort of like sexual ethic because for some reason I decided that I was going to wait until 18, but kind of went the opposite of the spectrum and decided, I'm going to be 18. It's going to be, I'm going to pick a guy who's going to be the hottest guy, but no feelings, no attachment, so that get it done, like, I guess have a hot notch on my belt or whatever I was thinking, and then I don't have to deal with the, emotional attachment and the heartbreak and all of that stuff that I hear about that makes sex for the first time, difficult for girls to deal with, I guess. And then the whole thing of, like, you're told something's wrong for so long, and then suddenly, like, there's a day and a ceremony, and you're supposed to be all into sex, and you don't know if there's chemistry. You don't know if you guys feel the same about those things. I mean, it's just all sorts of fucked up, and I think a lot of people suffer from it. I hate it, and that Joshua Harris follow-up to I Kissed Dating Goodbye, I had high hopes for it, and I thought it was bullshit. It was just kind of like, well, I think that, what I was teaching was right, but if it hurt you, I'm sorry, and maybe it shouldn't have been that way. Maybe not, like, so extreme as far as the courtship goes, but just, like, the biblical principles of saving yourself for marriage and stuff. But, yeah, anyways, I'm glad that you guys are discussing this, because I think a lot more people than we realize are hurt by it.
Yeah, so that Joshua Harris documentary, I don't know if I really said much about it on the pod, but yeah, it was sort of a bummer. I also was like, oh, this is cool. He's going to have some things to say. But it was just sort of like shrug, right. No like definitive. He wasn't like I was wrong or I was right. It just felt like my bad if it was painful. It's like,
right.
Yeah, I don't know. It felt like he was trying to have it both ways. And it's like, I don't know, like, look, I'm talking to all these different people, but not coming to any sort of firm conclusion about it.
Yeah. I mean, my understanding of where he's at now is still, I think he's the pastor of like a pretty big, fairly conservative evangelical church. So I would guess that like
he hasn't really shifted much.
His, like, theology hasn't fundamentally changed, but at least I guess I'm glad that the movement overall has recognized that stuff was real damaging. So
yeah. But to April's larger point.
Yeah, thanks for sharing, April.
Yeah, it's. The thing is, like, I don't honestly think that these people are intentionally trying to be hurtful.
Sure.
I think they think they're right and that this is the best thing to, like, sexual intimacy. I mean, sexual intimacy is a big deal. And people can get hurt.
Yeah.
But to throw in all the guilt and the shame and the fear with it, I mean, that's just a recipe for disaster.
Yep.
And I'm glad April had a good head on her shoulders to know, like, I see through a lot of this at a young age because a lot of people didn't. And I didn't for a really long time.
Yeah, we should maybe shout out a couple book titles that we were texting each other about since we did the episode. One is our buddy Blake Chastain, who does the Exvangelical podcast, which is really good, and Venn diagram of our pod's interests overlap quite a bit. So check that out if you haven't. But he had on Linda K. Klein, who wrote the book Pure, Inside the Evangelical Movement That Shamed a Generation of Young Women and How I Broke Free, which that one kind of like blew up and went into the mainstream. I know she was on like Fresh Air, and her book was a bestseller and everything. So that is worth listening to, and her book is worth checking out. And then we talked about Nadia Boltz-Weber, who's a pastor in the church that I work for. She's got a book that just came out called Shameless, A Sexual Reformation, which is certainly an interesting look around that whole culture.
I might be wrong, but so, I mean, this would be on par for the pod by just me making an assumption. But so, yeah, Nadia Boltz-Weber, she is a pastor of a church in Denver.
Right. Although she just left recently. But
Oh, she did?
yeah. I think she's kind of stepping back from
Pastoring?
and being more of like a public figure type.
Okay. Yeah, what was the name of the church again?
Oh gosh, it's like Saints and Sinners or something.
Something like that. Yeah,
This is the part of the show
where we talk about
Google
things and
things.
Google stuff. Founding pastor of House for All Saints and Sinners.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep. And so I was gonna say, I thought that Leonore went there.
Oh, I mean, I
Or-
know she helped start Scum of the Earth.
That's
church.
what I was thinking of.
Different church.
Different
but
church. Never mind.
Similar vibe in the sense that it's in Denver and kind of was about attracting folks who were kind of seen as like, the types that may not be welcome in normal churches or
Right.
whatever. But I think Scum of the Earth is still going.
Okay. Sorry, that's not just okay. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Who gives a shit?
Another book. Our girl Jen Mandigo, who we spoke with last week, she texted me a book called "Sex, God, and the Conservative Church:
Yeah.
Erasing Shame from Sexual Intimacy." So, yeah, we have some resources that we are going to have to look into. I'm excited about this Nadia Boltz-Weber book.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should check out some of her other books. Pastrix, Accidental Saints. So, yeah, she is a badass.
She's pretty rad. We should say also that part of what's giving some folks in my office heartburn is that she's currently collecting people's purity rings around the country and melting them into a vagina sculpture. Have you heard about this?
No, God, that's so good.
So people are sending in her their purity rings around the country, and she's going to make this big vagina with them. So,
And so people in your office are kind of bristling at it.
not that I think everybody probably. Well, I do not speak for the church. Opinions mine. Hashtag. But like, I think
That's not how hashtags work.
you say it after. So, weird that I haven't been getting any Twitter traction. No, I think generally people are like fully on board for whatever Nadia does, and then also are like, oh shit, we're gonna hear from a lot of people now.
Yeah.
She also had this whole thing about ethically sourced porn. I don't know if you heard about this, but this was something that also I think a lot of people have been complaining to the larger church about, is that she did this interview where she talked about like maybe porn, isn't all bad. Maybe it's okay for there to be ethically sourced porn, and that became this whole thing where people on all sides of the spectrum were kind of like, what is that? Is there such thing as that? So anyway, that's kind of a sidebar, but an interesting conversation nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, I might open up a whole can of worms on this topic, but I think when it comes to stuff like porn and other sex work, it's giving there is potential for manipulation and abuse within the sex industry. But of course women have bodily autonomy to make those sorts of decisions. And, this is, I feel like it's one of those industries, not just porn, but I think, there needs to be, stop criminalizing. I think criminalizing prostitution it's like the war on drugs. You're giving power to the wrong people.
Yeah.
And so if you're criminalizing prostitution, you're giving power to pimps and people who
Right.
kind of lord the power over these women. And that might not always be the situation, because I know that there are escort services where women have more autonomy. And of course, not all sex work is prostitution, of course.
Right.
But it's just, that's a whole much larger conversation.
Yeah.
But anyway, April has some more to say.
Damn, I got cut off for the first time ever, so I guess I had a lot to say. So anyways, I know people that were divorced because they waited till they were married. There was no sexual compatibility. Tons of issues, like, with women not being able to do it, and I don't know, it's just so messed up. Side note, I got in an argument with my mom on, Christmas Eve or something like that. We were just talking about the whole, rape thing and the baby is cold outside, and how, obviously, I do like that song a lot, especially when Zoe Deschanel sings it. Oh my gosh, she's amazing. But
Correct.
There is kind of like a rapey tone to it, but, I don't think it should be cut off from the airwaves or anything. It's like, if that's what you want to read into it, that's fine, but it's still, it's just a Christmas song. I think it's harmless. But anyways, my mom was saying, and, these women, that say that they got raped by their husbands, and I'm like, well, that happens, and she said, when you get married, your body is not your own. Your body is for your husband. And I'm like, that doesn't mean that they should just force themselves onto you, at free will. You have to, be willing and a part of it, and it should be a conversation, and no one should ever feel forced. So, anyways, that was interesting. That's part of the whole weird sexual, super crazy Christian upbringing that I had.
So before we get any further, if you're married and you force yourself on your spouse and you force sex on your spouse, that's rape.
Yeah. 100%.
So anybody who holds this idea that when you get married, your body no longer belongs to you, that's fucked up and incorrect.
Yeah.
And rape exists within marriage relationships.
Yeah.
If it just does. And you can't force somebody to give you sex regardless of your relationship status.
Right.
That's just the way it is.
Yeah. Most rape happens in the context of dating or marriage relationships.
Yeah. Most people know they're rapist.
So, this gets back to the whole thing you were asking about with, how are we raising boys? And I just think it's got to be, there's this understanding that rape means a specific thing, and usually it looks pretty different from, whatever, a random guy behind the bushes or whatever. It's
right.
A lot scarier and more insidious than that in a lot of ways. Because people don't know what defines rape. Anyway.
Well, this whole conversation makes me think about Gillette.
Yeah, yeah.
Because to me, it's baffling to live in a world where a company makes commercial. It's like, hey, let's not be shitty. Let's try and not be shitty.
Right.
And people are upset about it.
If the thesis statement is men, let's be less awful, and people are mad about that.
And hold each other accountable.
Right. It's a pretty low bar.
It's the lowest bar. And people are like, I'm throwing my Gillette razor in the toilet.
Yeah.
It's cool guy.
I will
say, it's the same people that are like, Colin Kaepernick, I'm burning my
Right.
Nike stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, dude.
Yeah, I will say, like, I saw so many people sharing it, like, finally, this is what we need, that, like, when I finally saw it, I was a little underwhelmed. Like, not that I disagree that, like, it's helpful for, whatever statements like that to be made in a big marketing corporate context, but, like, it did feel a little bit like, okay, yeah, that's, like, the bare minimum.
Right.
But sure, yeah, it's still good.
I mean, it's hardly, and to me, it's funny to think, because I see comments like, "Oh, you need to stop pandering to liberals," and I think it's funny that in some people's minds, not sexually harassing women and not beating the shit out of kids is like a liberal thing.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's tough.
I mean, like, why does this have to be party lines?
Yeah, that almost like reveals some scariness about your like it means probably that whatever your political philosophy is stands in opposition to that, which is like, okay, well, even more reason why I'm not conservative.
Yeah, it wasn't like I watched it and like, yeah, good.
Right.
Like this seems to me like kind of like a slam dunk. And I'm typically not one of those people that when I see a large corporation
Yeah.
being like, I'm on board for this big messaging.
Yeah.
I try not to be a cynical person, but like obviously they're a corporation.
Yeah, they've crunched the numbers.
They're not doing this out of the kindness of their hearts.
Right.
I mean, it's still there is risk
Yeah.
involved in something like this, but it's not enough.
Right.
One thing, so I feel like I thought I heard that they said they were going to do maybe partner with some organizations or do something like that, but it's making a commercial is not enough for me to be like heaping praises on them
Right.
or anything, but
Yeah, it was interesting that all happened this week right after we had that conversation.
yeah,
So.
yep, exactly. More from April.
So yeah, I think that's all I had to say about that one. Tumbledown is fucking rad.
Yeah.
I've never actually really listened to it before. Sorry, I'm a bad fan.
That surprises me,
Yeah,
considering
me too. It makes me feel a little better, frankly.
yeah, that if someone who loves pop country as much as April does, for the record, April loves pop country.
Can't get enough.
Can't get enough. It's exclusively what she listens to. It's pop country, then MXPX, then Nickelback.
Right.
But no, anyway, yeah, it does make me feel like, oh, if someone as big of a fan as of the style of music
Right.
that was under the radar for her,
Yeah.
well, then not so bad.
Fan, I guess. But I actually did see Tumbledown. I don't even know if it was the whole band, but Mike was doing something. It was a Tumbledown thing, I think probably in 2009. So that was cool. That was the first time I met and got a picture with Mike Herrera. So yeah, as you know, I'm into country now, so I think that I appreciate it a lot more than I would have when it came out. Same. But man, it's so freaking good. So I hope that there is a Tumbledown resurgence. And also, thank you guys for recognizing my loyalty and love and always sticking up for you. I will say, though, I know that Tom Duchilla is kind of, you feel like he's being an asshole to you guys. It is out of fun, and I actually really like the dude, so I'm just team Switzerland, right? Is that what it is in Twilight? Yeah, I love all of you, and I love MXPX above all. So I will talk to you guys soon. MagPod for life.
Thanks, April.
Yep. I mean, minus all that Tom C stuff at the end, we appreciate it.
I think we're both pretty sure that he's doing it out of not sincerity most of the time.
Right.
And then there's a sliver of time that we're like, what the fuck is happening here?
Yeah.
So
Like, I don't think... Like, I'm 95% sure.
Yeah.
That's about as high as a percentage as I can get that he's just fucking with us, but
Right.
like he
But a
doesn't mean
lot.
it. But like that other 5%'s like, does he fucking hate us? I don't know.
What's happening?
I don't know even know.
Yeah,
Well, I
just-
came here to drink and I came here to fight, guys.
Little Mike Moen. He came.
I'm so glad.
We came here to drink. You got
Was,
your. If Mike Moen came here to
Hey
drink,
man, then we did too. Is that the end of that voicemail?
what?
Of course not. Ooh,
The cackler.
yep.
He's got some things to say.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, I was just gonna say before when April was talking about
Second hand high, guys. Oh, yeah. Mike Moen. That's my name. Later.
what did he say at the beginning?
Secondhand high, guys.
Yeah. I could see Mike Moen being into that song.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. I've mostly been not coughing until these voicemails, and then they just send me over the edge, like that secondhand high.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say April was talking about seeing Tumbledown, and I looked up some of their tours, and they played Shuba's in 2010.
What?
Which I'm like, dang it, that would have been so cool. Shuba's is like a very small venue here in
It
Chicago,
is,
and that would
yeah.
have been fun for us to do. Anyway,
I think who did I see? I think I saw Unthalo at
I for sure
Shuba's.
saw them there. Maybe we were.
We
together.
might have been at the same show.
Yeah,
Did was Sleeping at Last there too?
I saw them there a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Probably at that together too.
So yeah, we John and I go back
It's true.
many years.
It's all a blur.
Yep. I think we got some. This is a MagPod record.
Ooh.
This is the lightest
Wow.
Danny Stairs week ever.
He's been busy. He's been playing a lot of games with his family.
That's true. He's playing the card games. He's
Yeah.
playing some Uno.
Doesn't have time to leave quite as many voicemails.
Yeah. Fuck us.
What's up, guys? Your boy Danny Stairs calling in with my top 3 for this week. I'm going to have to go with number 1, Harriet. Number 2, John. And I guess because he's all that's left, I'll put Andrew at number 3. All right, Mac, lots for life, guys. Bye.
See, I don't know. I don't get it. What's it about?
This is why April is our one and only true love.
What's up, guys? Your boy Danny Stairs, driving into work. Just got to the end of your review of Tumbledown. Want to thank you for not shitting on something that we love for once. But also want to kind of call you out because you guys are an MXPX podcast, and this is the first album you've ever not hated by any kind of MXPX-related entity. You hated all of, you really hated Ever Passing Moment.
Yeah.
I forget what other stuff you're supposed to have hated, but really didn't. I mean, the stuff you really hated. But, I was seeing what's going on. Like, Tumbledown seems to be more your style, since you guys hate all MXPX, and especially Ever Passing Moment. So, anyhow, guys, have a good week. MagPod for life.
So, I mean, we hate that JFK stuff that the band really is proud of, but we...
I forget.
Whatever.
Whatever, indeed. Yeah, as soon as the Chicago shows were announced, I emailed Tom to chill, and I was like, they better play only stuff from before 2000 or I'm not going.
Yep. We're exclusively looking for Pokinatcha to Buffalo, and that's it, because
Correct.
all of the other albums... Yeah.
Suck.
There will not be a single song that they play that I will be unhappy about.
No. I mean, yeah.
It's going to be so fucking rad.
Unless they're like, all right, guys, we decided Saturday is all Secret Weapon. But you know what?
Secret Weapon Saturday, guys!
I was listening to Secret Weapon this week, and I was like, maybe I was too hard on it. Because there's a stretch there, like in the middle, where it's just like
Angels?
Yeah. it
Angels
was
is a
like
good song.
Angels all the way through, You're on Fire or something.
Yeah.
Where I was just like, it's like 5 or 6 great songs in a row. And I was like, well, I don't know. In conclusion, I like all MXPX albums.
Yeah. So, I think what we can say is there are a handful of songs on Secret Weapon that it's the longest album.
Yeah.
It needed to be fucking cut.
Agreed.
Top of the charts, punk rock celebrity, sad song, could have gone, but
Yeah.
Angels, Chop Shop, You're on Fire,
I like Drowning.
yeah, Drowning, Secret Weapon, Shut It Down.
Yeah. Lots of good stuff.
Good stuff. It's just too long, as we said. Anyway, this is our Tumbledown
Yes,
episode.
Correct.
I don't know. Do we have some more? I think we have one more Danny Stairs voicemail.
Hey guys, your boy Danny Stairs again. I'm calling to clarify, yes, the Danny Stairs was 100% coined by Andrew. It's a
Boom.
100% property of Magnified Pod.
Boom.
It's a character that appears on your podcast only.
Yep.
In fact, in real life, nobody calls me Danny. I hate it. But I love you guys, so I let it fly. So just want to make sure that that's 100% on the record, that you guys are correct about that. All right. Toodaloo, motherfuckers.
Let me say that is an appropriate or an acceptable substitute for Magpod for life. I'll take that. That's fine.
Yes. If you want to swap out Toodaloo motherfuckers with Magpod for life,
We're gonna get Mike to record that at the Chicago show as our outro for all episodes.
oh my God, I'd be so hard if you did that.
What's funny is I'll just let this out of the bag that when we asked him to record that, the first thing he said was, "What's up, motherfuckers? This is Mike Herrera, and you're listening to Magnified Pod." And then I was like, "Oh, we shouldn't play that or mention that later." But now I'm like, I feel like he'd be fine with us saying that. So part of me wishes that.
I mean, it is. Well, what happened is he said the first part, and then we laughed for like a solid 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And then but anyway, yeah, it was funny as hell.
Yeah.
But I was like, decidedly in that moment, we're not.
We can't do that.
Can't do that.
We will get him to say Toodaloo, though.
We'll get him to say Toodaloo,
It's a
motherfuckers.
Magpod promise.
Yep. So, John, we have been talking heavy stuff lately. And I think it's time to get a little light.
Ooh.
Let's talk things that we enjoy. And we've talked about this with our boy Brian Bouchelt.
Mm-hmm.
We have talked about it individually, personally, movies.
All my favorite movies have the coolest parties.
Yep.
You're a movie dude. You have written about movies a bunch.
Yeah.
You're
Cable Guy. Say Anything.
Say Anything.
Some Kind of Wonderful. And
Yeah,
Grease.
Grease.
Those are the big four.
Those
was
are your favorite movies,
I was-
specifically because you're about the party movies.
That's right. Those are the best party movies one
Yep.
can name.
So, okay.
I love films.
John, we can't bite.
I just want to, though. We need to bite every single segment that
That
Scott and Scott do.
done.
Anyway, you were saying something real.
No, movies. So you are a much more, I guess there's not, what's the equivalent to if someone's well read, what's the equivalent for,
Cinephile?
I guess you're a cinephile.
Yeah.
I guess.
I usually say that whenever I meet someone.
Hi, I'm John. I'm a cinephile.
I'm a cinephile.
I'm a cinephile in the sense I'm S-I-N cinephile because I love sinning.
You love sin.
I love sin. Oh God, it's so good. My favorite part is how much I'm going to hell.
Yeah. That's the best part.
It's the best part.
Oh, boy.
So here's the thing. I didn't ask you this before the pod, but
Yeah.
You have seen a lot more movies, films, if you will, than me.
Sure.
Probably a lot more artsy films, a lot more.
What are you saying?
Well, what I'm saying is
just kidding.
I tend to be one of those people that watches movies that I like over and over and over again.
Oh, yeah. I do that, too.
But So before we get into some of our favorite movies and movies that we think are amazing, is there a movie that you haven't seen that at this point it's
I'm
like
embarrassed about?
it becomes to a point where it's like it's embarrassing that you haven't seen that movie yet?
So many. I don't even know where to start. What would be the...
There's one off the dome.
Let's hear it.
Schindler's List.
Oh,
I've never seen Schindler's
it's
List.
worth seeing.
25 years old.
Yeah, it's still worth seeing.
Yeah, but it's also like 3.5 hours long or
It's
something
good.
like that.
It's good.
But it's like one like everything. This is like on a much smaller scale, but I've also never seen The Sixth Sense.
I've got it on DVD if you want to take it home.
Here's the thing. Do you want to know one of the reasons I never saw The Sixth Sense?
Yes. Because somebody told you the twist.
Yeah, do you know who did?
No.
Andy Richter on Conan.
Ooh.
Late Night with Conan O'Brien. Not long after it came out,
That's not cool.
he ruined the ending.
Not cool.
How did they? I don't even know how they let
That's weird.
that.
I don't remember that.
How they let that air. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Or maybe it was past the point, but even Conan was like, what the hell? I haven't seen it yet.
That's weird.
So I was like, God damn it! Thanks, Andy Richter.
Come on, Andy. I mean, the first ones that come to mind, and maybe this is like classic cinephile talking, but like, I can't remember how many of those Chaplin films I've actually seen.
Okay.
And how many I've just seen clips of, but like Modern Times and City Lights are supposed to be like
Sure.
among the best movies of all time. And I don't know if I've ever actually like sat down and watched them.
Rashomon.
Rashomon, gosh, this is another one that I'm like, have I actually seen it? I've seen a decent amount of Kurosawa. I think I've seen some of it.
Okay.
I was also like #blessed to have the independent film channel.
Don't you mean blessed hashtag?
Yeah, that's usually if you want God to see them, put the hashtag after. I don't know what I'm talking about. Or Satan. And so I don't know if you remember this, but so I didn't have cable, but my grandma did, and I would go to my grandma's every day after school. And before IFC was IFC, where they played like just Arrested Development or whatever they play, it was like the independent film channel. And they would truly play like weird stuff from all over the world and from all times. And I saw a lot of stuff just like as a kid after school, catching up on these kind of like movies that are very important. So I think I may have seen at least some of Rashomon at that point, but
every kid's favorite movie.
yeah, it's like you gotta see it from all sides, you know.
Yeah.
No, there's a lot of
So when you weren't watching Rashomon as a kid, what would you, growing up, what did Mulleted Johnny get
Mulleted
down
Johnny.
with?
Gosh, well, as we've discussed, I wanted to be an animator
Sure.
until like too long into life that you should want to hold that goal.
Same.
So like Roger Rabbit was real big for me.
Okay.
I mean, Batman, the '89 Batman I saw in the theater and was obsessed with it.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like a classic noir.
Yeah.
Oh, Dick Tracy. Did you see Dick Tracy?
Yeah, hell yeah, I saw Dick Tracy. The colors in that movie,
Yeah.
legit, and production design.
Another sort of noir, like a movie that was actually going for comic book
Yeah.
style. Was that Warren Beatty?
Yep.
Yeah.
Props to that dude.
So, hey, John, before we get too far into this segment, you want some candy, bro?
Yeah, I do want some candy.
Okay. So, what do you want to do? You want to start with some original skitties?
Yeah, maybe we should do. Maybe this should, because weren't we talking about doing a taste off for
Yeah.
Skittles? Yeah, let's get into the Skittles.
Let's get into some skitties here.
I don't have strongly held opinions about which are the best flavored Skittles.
Right. So, as Nikki P says, great GMO candy.
Yeah.
They're starting to produced with genetic engineering on the package.
Cool.
Gluten free though, bro.
All right. Well, then it's good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so we got
We got some green. Got some yellow. Oh, I can already smell that classic Skittles aroma. So we got some green, we got some red, we have some yellow, and then we have grape.
Okay.
So I'm assuming those are the only 4. Wait, no,
There's 5.
there's orange.
Yeah. In my head, for some reason, purple's the best.
What am I missing? What am I missing? Where's the orange?
Orange.
Is this? There we go.
Purple's pretty good.
All right, purple. We got the purple.
Tastes a little like Dimetapp, like grape medicine, which I like.
It's definitely a Concord grape sort of flavor. What else? What'd you get?
Red.
Red.
Red might be better than purple. I think red might win.
Yep.
You're just a Red Rider across the board.
Red or die. That does, bro. I wish I bought some Starburst, so we could have done a taste test with the red Starburst, because that is
Put one
very
on top of the other one.
well.
It's
This
pretty
says
similar.
This says it's strawberry.
The
So I
other
wonder if it
one's-
would taste like the pink Starburst.
Oh, it could be.
It's kind of very similar. Nikki P said he's a ride or die for the green, right?
That's what I just popped.
Let's see.
Green's pretty good. I don't know if I like it more than red.
Tastes like, you know what it tastes like? Bubblicious
Ooh.
gum.
Ooh, yeah, good call. I love Bubblicious. Big League Chew. Oh, no.
Let's I'm going yellow.
Okay. It was all yellow. Pretty similar to Starburst.
Yep.
AKA garbage. Better
a
than
little-
Starburst, though.
A little brighter. A little bit more. Yeah, I'm into this a little bit more.
Yeah, agreed. It's a little more sour. Okay, now
Orange.
closing out. Good.
Fine.
Fine. Similar to Starburst.
Yep.
I think red wins, much like my Starburst opinion.
Yep.
Where are you going?
Red.
Because red is similar to pink.
Yep. Because it's strawberry,
Right.
which is
Okay.
what.
Interesting.
All right, let's move those aside.
If you were gonna make a metaphor about which color is which film, I mean, what would you? I think green is. It's a little bit Kurosawa, like you're saying. Like it's a little bit off the beaten path. Some surprises in there, but classic nonetheless. I'm just kidding.
I'd say orange is probably like a Nicholas Sparks movie, just like about what you expect.
Sure.
Let's get sour, bro.
Oh man, can't wait to get sour. So it's the same flavors, just sour. What a great idea.
Orange, grape, strawberry, green apple, and lemon. Yep.
Yeah, I think it's the same.
Yep.
Okay, let's do this. Should we go in the same order?
Yeah, let's do. What do? We did grape first.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
Sour makes it instantly better.
instantly.
Real good.
Yep. Red.
Let's do it. Well, these are good as hell. I don't know.
They're not as sour as I'd like.
Yeah, the sour red doesn't do as much for me. Sour grape wins so far for some reason.
Weird. Green.
Green, yeah. It's kind of a double sour since green apple's already pretty sour. I like it. I'm chewing right into the mic and you're moving your face away, which is probably the best way to go.
This green. I'm getting like a sense memory here.
You need to see Ratatouille.
Hold on a second. I need another fucking green.
Are you a little boy? It's summer, 1988. Andrew's face right now. Oh man,
What is this?
you having a revelation?
No, it's like this taste is taking me back to my childhood in a really specific way.
Youth group lock-in?
Younger. Weird. That's fucking weird, man. Okay, what are we doing? We're doing yellow?
Yep. It's good. Mm-hmm. Better, but with the sour.
Yeah. The lemon is definitely better with the sour.
I already did the orange. It's fine. I think I feel the same about sour as I do about the regular. Grape and strawberry are my faves. Mm-hmm. These sour ones are good as hell, though. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna eat a lot more of these.
Absolutely. Wow. So let's before we get into more candy. So what was Johnny getting down with in his younger days?
All right, we
with
talked
movies?
Roger Rabbit. Mm-hmm. We talked Batman. I was a big Tim Burton guy
Okay.
and Steven Spielberg, which is pretty like
Jurassic
basic.
Park.
Oh yeah, but they were the first directors that I like. Steven Spielberg was the first director that I like checked books out of the library about when I was like 11.
Interesting.
To learn about being a director. And then Tim Burton, as a kid, that run of like, so he did Pee-wee, Beetlejuice, Batman, Edward Scissorhands, Batman Returns, Nightmare Before Christmas. That was like all Little Johnny's wheelhouse so hard.
So you liked a little bit of the dark.
Oh yeah. I like Dark Mike. I like dark kids movies.
Did you
about
ever
you?
see Brave Little Toaster?
I never did. I know it's important to people of our age, but it was one that like passed me by for some reason.
Yeah, I definitely saw that as a kid. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I definitely think it has that sort of dark.
There's a little darkness in there.
Yeah.
Toaster gets into some scraps.
Yeah, man. The blanket,
The blanket really fucks with him.
dude. No, it's. I remember it being fucking sad.
Okay.
Anyway,
What about Muppets? I was super into Muppets.
I was into Muppet Babies.
Was into
Muppet Babies was my show. I don't remember actually watching the Muppets, like Muppets Take Manhattan or any like.
Got all those on DVD too if you want.
I don't know. I just never got down. What do you got there? Got some.
I went double yellow. Just doing a little more for me with the double.
Yeah. You know what it is? With the Sour Patch Kids, I think there's more surface area, so you get more.
Yeah. It
You
hits
get more
the,
sour.
the back of your tongue, which is the sour part.
Oh yeah.
Like that's where the
Ooh,
sour
there's
part
It's
hits
a
you.
blue.
Yeah, so what we got here? We got red, orange, green, yellow, as discussed, but instead of purple, we got blue.
Yeah, they don't really tell you the flavors.
I don't think it matters.
Yeah.
Blue, I feel like I'm a blue boy. I
You
don't
know what?
know.
Looks like a blue raspberry.
It's good. I feel like there's better ones.
I'm going red.
Going red. I think I'm holding out for green for some reason.
What's up with this red?
It's not as good as red Starburst or red Skittles.
No.
Maybe it's like a different kind of red fruit.
You know what it tastes like? It tastes like a red gumdrop.
Yeah, I don't know about gumdrops. I don't know if I'm here for this.
No. Lime.
I think green's my favorite Sour Patch.
Limetown.
Yeah, I'm going to Limetown for sure. That's a podcast, isn't it?
I think so. We got some yellow and orange.
Yeah. See, in contrast to Starburst and Skittle, I feel like yellow
you
Sour
doing
Patch
yellow?
are real good. Yeah. Am I right? Maybe not my favorite, but
Yeah, it's interesting how we're digging the yellows. We're in the Starburst.
yeah. Okay. Orange. Orange is good. I like
Also
orange.
has a gumdroppy flavor.
It does. I think green Sour Patch wins, though.
Interesting.
This has been
been
absolutely
eye-opening.
riveting. Let us know your favorite.
Yeah, this is a new segment.
This table looks
it's
awesome
called-
right now.
Yeah, it looks like it's got like just tons of sugar dust all over it.
Talking movies while eating candy and drinking booze is
Yep.
like my endorphins are like going.
This episode of Magnified Pod is brought to you by Wrigley Candy. Mm-hmm. This segment will be known as John Potter's Pod Fodder.
Thank
Where
you
we
for
just-
nailing it.
Yeah, we just talk about candy.
I love it. Mm-hmm. That's perfect.
So anytime we want to just talk about some random bullshit, it'll be an episode or segment of John Potter's Pod
I
Fodder.
love it. There's
Yep.
no good MXPX song to provide bumper music to that, but
No.
perhaps if you're, hey, Mark Down the Walls, maybe your band could create a hardcore John Potter's Pod Fodder. Or Alex Retro if you want to, Atomic Treehouse wants to do John Potter's Pod Fodder theme.
Yep.
I support that.
We are here for the John Potter's Pod Fodder theme music.
Green and blue together. We'll see what they do.
Oh, God.
God, Sour Patch Kids fucking rule.
I mean, I'm here for all of this. All right.
How much of the Sour Patch Kids do you want?
All of it.
All of it.
We're doing red Sour Patch,
Whoa.
purple
Whoa.
Sour Skittle,
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
and green regular Skitty.
I think you're about to fall backwards onto the floor. Is it a revelation? Do you see the Lord?
I just saw Jesus' eyes.
He was like, "What's up, dude? This is the combination to get you into heaven."
This is, figured it out, bro. You know how Jesus sounds.
Sounds just like,
Bro. So movies.
yep. What were you into? Back to the Future.
8th grade, 1997. UHF.
Oh, of course.
I discovered Weird Al in maybe 1995. And it took a couple years before I realized, because the internet was in its infancy.
It's true.
So I couldn't just go online,
No.
go Weird Al, go to his Wikipedia page and see all that. I checked out UHF on VHS from the library
Yes.
and
Best sound.
watched that shit over and over and over again.
So good.
That was my jam for so long. It's still my jam. So if you like Naked Gun, like Leslie Nielsen movies, or what's the name of that? Oh man, what's the name of that fucking movie? Top Secret.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
you ever see
Val Kilmer?
Yeah, with Val Kilmer.
Oh, yeah.
So that was in 1984. So that was pre UHF,
Yeah.
and it's if you think you know Val Kilmer, this movie fucking weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
He's singing, he's
good in it.
dancing.
Yeah.
There's a whole like underwater
Yeah.
fight scene.
That movie's wild. It's
Yeah.
kind of a parody of spy movies,
Yep.
but it's
It's-
also on its own shit.
Star
Yeah.
Wars
Sure.
was also super important to me as a kid.
Yeah.
Probably the first time I saw Star Wars was maybe I was in 6th grade. Seems about right. So that would have been 96, I think.
Sure.
Would have been about right.
I had, in addition to the independent film channel, Mr. Movies was the spot in St. Paul where on Tuesdays you could get 99 cents old releases, like non-new films. And in the summertime, I would just load up on like 7 at a time from like these film books that I would read and just like blow through stuff. And that's when I first saw like Reservoir Dogs and Do the Right Thing. And
You saw Reservoir Dogs as a kid?
well, like 13, yeah.
Wow.
And that shit just like Clerks. I was just like,
How
there.
did you get this past your parents?
They were fine with it. I
Really?
think. Yeah, I mean, my parents are both actors. They met in grad school for theater.
Okay.
They're into weird stuff. And I think they saw that, like, that stuff was like, oh, like, regular people can make movies and make them really interesting. And that kind of blew my mind as a kid. And then a couple years after that, after I had done some of those, like, contemporary 90s movies, is when I went back and, like, Kubrick and stuff like that, which, as I think we've discussed on the pod, yeah, Terrence Malick too, but, like, 2001 A Space Odyssey is probably my favorite movie of all time.
Interesting. I've never seen it.
Well, I'm going to give you Ratatouille, 2001, Muppets.
So, yeah, I'm kind of a normie, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know if, like, I'm not familiar with Malik, you know.
Have you ever seen Tree of Life?
No.
I think you'd like it.
Yeah.
You should check it out.
Is that Brad Pitt?
It was Brad Pitt. It was kind of Terrence Malick's comeback. I mean, he was big sort of in the 70s and the 80s. And then he went away for a long time, and then he came back with Tree of Life and blew everybody's minds. So check that one out.
So, my favorite movie of all time, as aforementioned,
B to the F.
BTTF,
Yeah.
Back to the Future. Arguably a perfect film.
Sure.
I don't know if there's anything wrong with that movie. It's so fucking good. It's so funny. It's so funny. The writing, it's just so tight.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Where do you stand on parts 2 and 3?
For him.
Okay.
They wrap it up.
I have the trilogy.
I don't know why people don't like the third movie. And my feeling is it's because they haven't watched it
I have
recently.
I have not watched it recently. I have the trilogy.
It's fun as hell. Do you like westerns? It's a western. The only thing about that movie that is not my favorite about that movie is fucking what's her name?
Mary Steenburgen.
Mary Steenburgen. I don't think I'm a Mary Steenburgen fan.
Huh. Interesting.
I don't think I like her as an actress.
Wow.
I don't find her compelling or convincing in many of the roles I've seen her in.
I don't know what to think about that.
Am I wrong?
I like her. I've seen Back to the Future 3 probably once in the theater as a kid.
Oh wow, really?
And I just remember being like, even as a kid, I was like, I wish they would have just done the first one and not done the other ones. And I know there's fun elements in the other ones, but I agree with you. The first one's kind of perfect. I felt like they were just kind of milking it a bit with the other two. Although Back to the Future 2 suddenly looks like a prophecy of what is our daily life now.
100%.
So,
I mean, because they did base
Right,
the Biff Tannen
yeah.
character off of Donald Trump because he is a blowhard who owns a casino and
They were like,
is a
imagine the worst
womanizer.
possible reality.
yeah, it's fucking messed up that they got it so right.
Yeah.
But so Mary Steenburgen, so she was in Clifford, which
That was
is
another movie I watched a lot as a kid.
so funny.
I don't think that's a popular opinion.
No, it's not.
But I'm with you.
No, it's not. I thought that movie was funny as hell. And I remember showing it to some family and friends, and they're just like,
They're like, what is this?
what the hell is this?
This is a nightmare child.
Yeah.
A nightmare movie.
No, but it's so good. It's Martin Short, Charles Grodin, and Martin Short is unbearable as a kid. And he's still but Charles Grodin, you can see him slowly losing his mind.
Look at me like a human boy. Andrew's making the face perfectly.
Yes.
You can't do it, can you? Yeah,
Just
it's like
like
an
it's-
irritating person battling an irritating person. It's a
Yep.
perfect movie.
And Mary Steenburgen just thinks that Charles Grodin is like a monster to
Yeah.
this kid, and he doesn't understand
Yeah.
how Martin Short's character is. He's just a sweet little boy,
Right.
and he just wants to go to Dinosaur World.
Man, that movie is twisted.
Yeah, it's dark.
It is dark.
It gets pretty dark.
I'm a big Martin Short head.
Yeah.
I saw him and Steve Martin at Ravinia last summer.
did
It was
you?
amazing.
An evening you'll forget for the rest of your
Yes.
life.
Yeah, it was pretty much the same as a Netflix special. Was Three Amigos a movie you were into as a kid?
It wasn't.
Have you seen it?
I haven't.
I have the. Okay, that's one that I'm seriously giving you the DVD. It's so wonderful. Okay, so
Okay.
we've been
so-
eating candy and talking bullshit for a while.
Yeah. Well, you know how we do. So here's the thing. I've been trying to catch up on movies
Yeah.
that I haven't seen, that I've wanted to see for a long time
Yep.
in preparation, because it's like, you know what, Andrew, get your shit together, sit your ass down, watch these movies that are on Netflix. Just do it. Ex Machina.
Good one.
Watch this movie. Donald Gleason is a boss.
He's good in everything.
He's great in everything. Do you get the sense that people actually know who he is? Because he seems like one of those guys that's like, he's in a lot of amazing stuff.
Yeah.
He kills it
Yeah.
in literally everything he
Sure.
does. And I don't think I don't think he's a household name
Probably not.
yet.
But at this point, like with Star Wars, I think everybody knows his face at least.
Yeah, but also Bill Weasley.
Bill Weasley.
But I don't think if you said, "Hey, you know,
Watching that new Donald Gleason joint.
do you know Donald? Are you a fan?" And I don't think anybody would really know.
No.
Like, sorry, Donald? What are you
Yeah.
saying? And like, so he's unbelievable in that in Ex Machina. But his performance in the Black Mirror episode.
Oh yeah, I
Be
was
Right
going to
Back,
mention that. Yep.
It
Might be my favorite Black Mirror
It's
episode.
so brutal.
Yeah.
It-
Pretty tough.
It's really, really tough. If you haven't watched Black Mirror, you should watch Be Right Back, Black Mirror episode. It's so emotionally heavy, but it's also funny that he's in, spoiler alert, he's in a movie, Ex Machina,
Right.
about a robot.
Yeah.
But he's also in a Black Mirror episode
Yeah.
where he is a robot.
Yeah. Very similar territory explored in some ways.
Yeah, some similar, but not too. The thing about Black Mirror is they explore things to a degree that it's like it doesn't feel too far off.
Oh, totally. I feel
They-
like everything in that show is like within the next couple of years, probably.
If we're not already
Right. Living some
living
of it, for
some
sure.
of it, but
Yeah.
and No Country for Old Men.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. So
Thoughts?
I just watched this movie for the first time. It came out 12 years ago.
That's wild.
Does that blow your mind?
Yeah. I
Because
saw that in the
I-
theater and it does not seem like it was 12 years ago that I thought.
2007.
Yeah.
I heard great things about it. Obviously, it's Coen Brothers film. It won like all of it.
Yep.
It won 4 Oscars.
Yep.
I think did Javier Bardem win?
I think he did. Yep.
So I'm not a violent movie kind of guy.
Yeah.
This to me takes place in 1980 in Texas, it has in not a similar way, but sort of similar. It feels like Pulp Fiction in that here are all these different people and their separate stories and kind of how they're all connected.
Right.
It's not totally Pulp Fiction, but it does feel like, because there are these long stretches where it's like here is Josh Brolin's character kind of like he's hunting and he's coming upon this scene.
Right.
And now here's, Javier Bardem, he's being arrested in one thing, and here's the sheriff, and they're all like doing these separate things, and you're just like these longer scenes that you're just like, kind of what's going on.
Right.
But Javier Bardem is in his role as Anton Chigurh is
Iconic.
Probably one of the most profoundly intense and creepy
Yeah.
and stressful. So the scene where he goes into the gas station,
Call it friendo.
that scene where the gas station attendant is just like, I don't know if I've been more stressed out
Yeah,
watching a
it's pretty
scene
bad.
in a movie with such low, like, the conversation I felt immediately for that guy, because he's like, what's going on? I don't understand.
What do I stand to lose?
Well, he's like, everything. But he's like, when do you close? What time do you normally go to bed? It's like these
so
questions.
terrifying.
It's so. It's like, is that your house out back?
Yeah.
So you inherited the line of questioning?
Yeah.
Is so unsettling.
Yeah.
I found myself so uncomfortable,
Right.
and it was so beautifully and perfectly acted.
Yeah.
Every scene, Javier Bardem is just perfect.
Yeah.
And his eyes do so much.
Yeah, totally.
In every scene. He's so good. He's so creepy and good.
The scene where he's strangling the dude.
Yeah.
And his eyes just go bug-eyed, and you're just like, oh, this is a demon.
That was the beginning of the film.
Yeah.
And you're just like, holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's a Cormac McCarthy book, which I don't know how much Cormac McCarthy you've read. But,
Approximately none.
okay, I think you'd be into him as well. But yeah, when Andrew told me that he watched those two movies this week, I said, Population, or Bleaksville, Population U.
Yeah.
Cormac McCarthy, bleak dude, but very profound. Coen Brothers often quite bleak, but profound. But so Cormac McCarthy times Coen Brothers is just like, there's a lot to wrestle with in that movie. I think it's about nihilism and the sometimes seemingly meaninglessness of life, or the chaos of life. Yeah, whether or not Anton Chigurh is some sort of supernatural presence, even does he represent death or chaos, or so?
He's
anyway, there's a
definitely-
lot to wrestle with.
He's definitely chaos.
Yeah,
The end of the movie, where he's driving, but that part where he looks in the rearview mirror and he sees the kids, and my thought was, he's going to stop the car.
Right.
He's going to do a flip of the coin with the kids or something. He's going to do something chaotic and just disrupt these kids just riding their bikes.
right.
And even when he had his bone sticking out of his arm,
Yeah.
I was not certain
Right.
how that scene was going to play out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I guess that's how chaos is. You just don't know how chaos plays out.
Right. Yeah. And I think the question is, how do you respond to that chaos? So I think Carla Jean, the Kelly MacDonald character,
Yeah.
she's the hero of the movie. And at the end of, well, spoilers for a 12-year-old movie, but like at the end of the movie, it's left ambiguous what happens to her, but like
Right.
pretty sure she's killed. And
Yeah.
she's kind of the only one who refuses to play his game of
Right.
like the chances. And so I think what I take from that is like, if you stand up to the forces of the world for your values and what you believe, it may not get you worldly, fame or like, measurable whatever wealth or success, but like that is ultimately the character who, quote unquote, stands to gain the most because she stands up for what she believes. She's a positive force around this negativity. So sometimes that costs you your life, but that's the way that standing up for what you believe in goes sometimes. And
Well, I mean,
Anyway.
that also sort of foreshadows the beginning of the movie where Josh Brolin's character gets out of bed to do the right thing and bring the gallon of water
right,
to that guy in the truck.
It's complicated.
Yeah, he's like, "Ugh, I didn't have any water, but I know he needed water. I
Right.
guess I'll go bring him water.
Yeah.
And that sets off this whole chain of
Right.
events that leads to the whole movie being chaos,
Totally.
So trying to do the right thing and, it's such an intense movie.
It's a good movie. Love those Coen brothers.
Yeah.
Barton Fink is probably my favorite Coen brothers movie, which is like probably not a popular opinion, but maybe popular among writerly types who love the Coen brothers.
Yeah. I don't know what that movie is.
It's a metaphor about a writer meeting Satan, sort of. Another one that I recommend. But yeah, I did, to prepare for this a little bit, just kind of put down some notes about some of the movies of the last year that I really liked a
Okay.
lot. Because the idea of just talking movies broadly is overwhelming to me. So kind of like we did our favorite records of the year.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is my definitive favorite movies of the year, but these are some of the movies that I was impacted by the most. So maybe I'll
Okay.
go through those briefly.
Hit
But Roma is probably my favorite movie of 2018. It's on Netflix, but I waited to see it in 70 millimeter at the Music Box Theater here in Chicago, and my mind was kind of blown by it. It's really beautiful visually. It's in black and white. There are all these huge panoramic and wide shots and long tracking shots and shots that go like 360 with the camera around the whole room. And it's about classism and sexism and racism and war without focusing explicitly on those. Instead, it's like this very intimate story of one person. So that movie kind of blew me away. First Reformed is another one. Have you?
No.
You would like this movie. I think.
First Reformed?
Yeah. I think a lot of our listeners would like this movie too. It definitely explores really interesting questions of faith, including kind of mainline versus evangelical, the future of the church, your calling, what to do as a person of faith and as an activist, kind of in the context of 21st century when we're faced with what we're faced with right now. So it's about this. It's written and directed by Paul Schrader, he wrote like Taxi Driver and a lot of well-known movies kind of about these like struggling men facing like the big questions of life. But this one is about a pastor of a Reformed church where like nobody goes, but this big mega church kind of buys them out to pay their bills and kind of keep them afloat. And a lot of the movie is these meetings between the pastor of the Reformed church and the pastor of the mega church kind of hashing out like, what does church mean? What does a life of faith mean? And it's very dark, but it's also kind of surreal and transcendent. So anyway, really interesting movie.
Is this has
Ethan Hawke is the main dude.
Okay.
Anyway, that is an interesting one. Speaking of Ex Machina, Alex Garland, who's the writer-director of that, also did Annihilation this year, which I also think you should check out. I got so wrapped up in this movie that I ended up reading the trilogy of books that it's based on. It's called the Southern Reach trilogy, but it's very trippy. It's about these female scientists that go exploring this unexplained area. Yeah,
I think I did see the trailer for that. That was
Yeah.
Natalie Portman,
yeah.
Jennifer Jason Lee.
Yep, good cast. It's
Yeah,
worth checking out.
Oscar Isaac, of course.
He's the dude.
Does he have to be in every Alex Garland movie?
He's in every good movie. That's
He's-
not true, but he's
Okay,
got a
so
great track record of movies I love.
can I just interrupt for a second
Yes.
to talk about Oscar Isaac in Ex Machina?
Yeah.
Because not dissimilar to Javier Bardem, you're just like, I don't know what this dude's deal is.
Right,
You're just like, I mean, you know Javier Bardem is a bad guy,
right.
but the way Oscar Isaac plays the character in Ex Machina, you're just like, I found myself super unsettled
Totally.
the entire time.
Yeah.
They both play these characters of intensity
Right.
so well.
Yeah. Yeah, and that came just after Oscar Isaac starred in the Coen Brothers, Inside Llewyn Davis, which is like those two characters could not be more different, and yet he's the same person somehow who plays them. Yeah, so Annihilation. It's kind of sort of weird fiction, sort of sci-fi, sort of philosophy. I ultimately kind of thought the book's exploration of those themes was a little more interesting, but the last 10 minutes of this movie are unlike anything I've seen in the movies for a while. And it's got this great synthy score by Jeff Barrow from the band Portishead and Ben Salisbury. I'm going to name one more movie, then I'll be done. But Mandy, have you heard of this?
Barry Manilow?
No, but you need to look this one up too. It's written directed by Panos Cosmatos, who did Beyond the Black Rainbow also.
Nicolas Cage.
It stars Nicolas Cage, but if you have an idea of what that might... it's very different from that. But it's also, like, it's this weird hallucinogenic...
steal the United States Constitution.
So put all those Nicolas Cages...
Okay.
Like, it's not like he... It's just a very different performance for him.
Okay.
But it's also insane and over the top. So in keeping with him, it's like...
Does he have any other level? Does he
Well, I will
operate
say,
at any other place
he-
than like?
He mostly is pretty reserved in this movie. He's mostly quiet. He doesn't have many lines. But the movie around him is Nicolas Cage level nuts. It's like hallucinogenic. There's these insane neon visuals. It's not silly, but it's like super stylized. It's about this cult and revenge, and that's kind of all I'll say. But I watched this super late one Friday night, which is like the perfect time to do it because it's like just so nuts. It was also one of the last scores by Johan Johansson, who died last year, and he was a composer whose work I really liked. He scored Arrival, the movie, and Sicario. Anyway, he did this great 80s inspired score for it. So those are kind of the movies that did the most for me last year. Let us know yours.
Yeah, let us know what you're watching.
Yeah.
Because we had talked about this off pod, but as of yesterday, you hadn't watched Bird Box yet.
I still haven't. I want to.
Yeah, that's super surprising considering your proclivity towards horror
Scary
movies
stuff.
and scary stuff.
It's not for lack of desire. It's lack of time and Venn diagram of movies that my wife and I want to watch.
Yeah.
Not a lot of overlap.
Yeah, Dana and I, she would not watch either Ex Machina or No Country for Old Men.
Not surprising.
No, she would, like me just describing Javier Bardem, she's like having none of it.
Yeah, I saw both of those movies in the theater by myself. Just the way to do it.
Yes. Yeah, I did watch a documentary about white supremacy the other day too.
What was that?
It was by a Norwegian Muslim. Let's see, what was? Okay,
Right.
it's called White. Yeah, it's called White Right. Meeting the Enemy.
Diakon.
Yep. This came out a couple years ago, and it's a very different approach. So she's a Emmy and Peabody award-winning filmmaker, and what she does as a Muslim woman and filmmaker is she goes and sits down with white supremacists and white nationalists and people who want an ethno-state, and she has conversations with them about their ideology and kind of just like getting a chance to know them and hear about them. And it's some of these people who are marching against like even the existence of her living in the United States in many ways, become friends with her and like her and soften their feelings about, like, there's one guy who ends up like resigning from a position that he's holding because he's like, I care and respect you too much, and I was thinking like, he's like, you're my friend and I couldn't see this happening to you. And when she reads things that people like comment to her, these guys kind of bristle. They're like, I don't like hearing people say that to you. And one guy's like, you're the first Muslim I've ever met. And she just stays super calm and respectful in the face of this super violent rhetoric, you know? And it's amazing. It's really amazing.
Sounds really cool.
Yeah, so it's called White Right Meeting the Enemy, and it's less than an hour, and it's pretty intense stuff. She was actually in Charlottesville.
Oh, wow.
Marching with the white supremacists.
Like while she was doing the movie.
Yeah,
Wow.
doing the film, and just like not too far away, Heather Heyer is mowed down by a car.
Wow. Yeah, speaking of 2018 movies, Black Klansman ends, the Spike Lee movie, ends with this actual footage from Charlottesville. It's just like, whew, really knocks you out. I was going to say that White Rights reminded me of Abigail Disney, who's like a descendant of Walt Disney, but she's a documentarian now, and she made this movie Armor of Light a few years ago.
Okay.
But her style is pretty similar to what you were saying about White Right, where it's like that movie specifically, Armor of Light, was about her interviewing evangelicals on the topic of gun violence, and she like grew to have real relationships with a lot of these people. Anyway, interesting stuff.
She's evidently she's still friends with some of these people.
Yeah.
It's intense stuff, man. Like, you watch this and you hear some of these things and you're just like,
Yeah.
I mean, young, white, disenfranchised men
Right.
who feel lonely, misunderstood, abused, powerless, no opportunities.
Yeah.
And here's something that gives them all of those things.
Right. Yeah.
And some of these white nationalist guys, one guy says that he's set up in Detroit for those specific reasons, because it's a great recruiting because of those reasons, that people feel disenfranchised and you know, forgotten, and it's like,
Jeez.
they're actually going after these people because they're like, you're exactly who we're looking for. So it's a fucked up thing, but she's doing some really powerful work, and it's pretty amazing stuff. So anyway, we've
talked a lot.
We've talked a lot, and we haven't even talked Tumbledown. So this might be our longest episode ever. Or it might end up being, you know, some Patreon. Who knows? But we're gonna take a break. When we come back, we're gonna be talking Empty Bottle, and this bottle goes down easy, my bro.
Word. Yeehaw!
Yee motherfucking ha. We're back.
Yeah, we are.
We are talking TD.
Yep. Episode 2 of Talking TD,
Yeah, man.
but not the final one.
Not the final. We're talking Empty Bottle.
Yep. This bottle's getting more empty.
Yeah, it is. Just clinkety clink. So this album has some great artwork. So it's not the it does feel more like a beer whiskey ad.
Yeah.
Because the cover has that them holding the
whiskey
bottle,
bottle.
and
Yeah.
and it it says empty bottle on it, and I think that it's a really cool cover. I do still really like that skull.
The illustrations.
The illustration
yeah.
of the skull of the first record.
I miss the vibe of the EP too. Like, I like that vibe more than just the photo. But
You mean like the sort of like the tattoo art
yeah,
style?
I just love the Tumbledown illustration vibe.
Yeah, I'm into it as well. What are your overall thoughts in terms of like going into, like, give me your general takeaway from this record versus the first Tumbledown full length?
I definitely prefer the first Tumbledown
Same.
full length.
Same.
I still like this, but the whole thing feels a little slicker and poppier than the first record.
There's some great additional instrumentation on this record that I really like.
Yeah.
It's got some steel guitar, like a pedal steel.
Yeah, it does.
Got some like blues harmonica
Yeah, it does.
going. Got some cello, some mandolin. There's some great additional instrumentation on this record
Yeah.
that I'm into.
Agreed.
I don't think anything on this record reaches the high of the first record.
Agreed. I'm with you.
Secondhand High or The Butcher of San Antone.
Yeah.
It doesn't, even Let's Drink or Break Out of History or Moving On. There's nothing on this record that gets me as like high or excited.
I agree. I mean, the self-titled record feels very country, and it has like this jangly guitar, and there's those wall-to-wall solos, and it feels a little more darker. There's more barn burners. This one is a little, it's not quite at this level, but it feels a little more like an arena rock style version of Tumbledown. Like, it's much more straight ahead rock generally, I'd say, than the first record. And I don't want to give anything away, but I feel like you might be surprised by what my number one is, because it's like the most like that.
Interesting.
And I said I was super into how country sort of the first record is, but I can't deny how great that song is. So I don't mind the shift, but it's definitely, I prefer them staying in the kind of dirtier, countryer realm.
I'm here for fucking bar brawling
Yeah.
Mike and dirty.
Yeah.
I like the dirty.
Right. This one's not quite as
It's
dirty and
this is
crawling around in the beer on the floor.
No, there's this is definitely going from some sort of shitty roadhouse to playing the House of Blues.
Yeah, it's a classier establishment.
Yeah.
We should say, though, that like the first record, this one is produced and engineered by Mike, but mixed and mastered by Stephen Edgerton. Also on the End Sounds label again. This is the same year that the Arthur full length came out, and I feel like this is kind of similar almost in terms of what happened with Arthur. Like, this is kind of a more polished version of the band, I would say. But yeah, anyway, we'll get into it.
It's still got Mike and Jack and the Troutland Bros.
Troutland Bros. Holding down that rhythm section.
Yeah. And it's also Jared Scott taking those photos.
That's right.
It's got some, Mike is rocking that sleeveless vest. This is the sleeveless vest era of Mike.
It is.
Looking good, but he looks good. He's pulling it off. He's got the chops.
Not
I'm
everybody
into
can
it.
pull that off.
No, he can. He can do anything he damn well pleases.
That's probably what I'm going to wear to the shows.
You're gonna sleeveless vest,
with nothing under it.
dude. And are you gonna shave that beard into some sick ass chops?
Yes, I thought you were going to say you're going to shave your chest hair.
You gonna
That's going to be on full display.
just you just need to have like a landing strip, just
Gross.
a big strip right down to the happy trail.
Everybody wants that.
Well, somebody's got to compensate for all the facial hair on this podcast. You're pulling all the facial hair weight.
Yep. That's what I always say about myself.
Because spoiler alert, I can't grow facial hair.
Yeah. Well,
It's a sad day.
you should draw some chops on for the shows.
That would be a disaster. Shall we listen to some
it.
Toonskis?
Yeah.
Let's start with Places in This Town.
Weighing out my sense, stumbling down the tracks, thinking of tomorrow like a monkey on my back. The summer sun is cooking, smells like something died. Still on this road to ruin, and time ain't on my side. This cash is burning holes in the pocket of my jeans, and Texas is the reason that I do what I please. Change is coming faster than a thief before the dawn. I'm ready and I'm willing, so bring that bad bitch on. There's some places in this town that even I won't go. So if you make it back, be sure and let me know. The years keep flowing by me while the days are passing so slow.
Mandolin solo.
Yeah, bring that bad bitch on.
I was going to say, shout out to the line, change is coming faster than the thief before the dawn, which is kind of a little scripture reference. Followed
Thief
by,
in the Night.
Yeah. I'm ready and willing, so bring that bad bitch on. It's, okay.
Yeah.
It's quite the line.
Yeah. It's there's. I feel like 2010 was the year in which Mike was like,
IDGAF.
fuck it.
Yeah.
There are some other songs on here. There's one song in particular on this record where he's just like, you want to know what I'm about? Here it is.
Yep.
But this is my number 3.
Okay. I like it. I think it's fun.
Yeah.
It doesn't hit me.
Doesn't
with the
float.
same.
Doesn't float the penis.
Well, it's up there a little bit, but
Yeah.
not as high as the first record.
No, it's a good song. I think it has, the
Yeah, it's a great solo.
I like that little section there. I also like that it starts off pretty immediately.
Yeah.
It doesn't fuck around. But you're right. The opening of Let's Drink, it doesn't have. Let's Drink is not as slick of a sounding song.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, it's still I think one of the most solid songs
Yeah.
on the record. But
I don't
anything else?
have anything else to say.
All right. Well, let's empty this bottle, bro.
This tale should come as no
number one.
My number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. This, you kept it on there to hear those delicious walking bass lines.
Yeah, it sounds
bass
great.
sounds great in this song.
Yep.
Yeah, this one's super fun. It's a fun kind of like sing-along style song. This would be a great one to, shout the chorus along to. Yeah, super fun.
A can of beer, some good red wine. The whiskey here is tasting mighty fine.
Yeah, it is, Mike.
I just need a friend to tell me when this night is ever gonna end. A little too much alcohol and just enough to make me fall right here on the stage. Like words on
The bass in this
So
song
great.
just sounds great.
Yeah, it kind of makes it for me. And I
Yeah.
love the drop out there with the like syncopated.
Yeah,
This one, it's a little more on the vibe of the first record a bit, but
Yeah.
no solo in this one. It's a little weird.
yeah. There's what's
those empty bottles stack up nice, and I don't want your bad advice. I'll drink myself to sleep. Don't worry, you won't hear a thing. 'Cause when
what are they called brushes?
On the drums?
Yeah, because they're not like
Yeah.
sticks.
Yeah, I think that's Brushes.
But but it gives that like more
yes,
like the driving drum sound.
Totally.
That you're like the windows are down on a summer day and you're just like cruising. You're
Totally.
just
yeah. I think they make great use of brushes on drums in the band. There's when we get to the Atlantic City EP, there's a song I really like that I feel like the drushes.
the drushes.
I've had some whiskey. The brushes really kind of like make
Yeah.
it for me. So
Yeah.
anyway, it's a good one.
It's a good song. And then I know where this song lands.
I took the southbound bus to the end of the line. I was running from the growing troubles of our time. We'll try to get away, or we try to give it back, but you know it never works. Yeah, you know it's never gonna work. You know it's never gonna work. Yeah. I've been knocking all day and nobody's home. Couldn't call ahead because I lost my phone. Has the world gone crazy or is it just me? Yeah, it's probably just me. You and me. You know it's always you and me. We meet the devil at the crossroads. And there's truth in that. We will try to change the outcome, but the dying's cast. Oh yeah! Hey!
My number 2.
My number 1.
Your number 1.
Yeah. So we're just flipped on those two.
Yep.
And I think I even kind of had it how you had it for a while. And I was like, I don't know if I can let this one be my number 1. Like, when those, like, opening chunky chords come
Yeah.
in, it's like, dun, doo, 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 dun. I'm like, oh boy, are we back in, like, my Sharona territory here? But, like, by the time that riff comes in, I'm like, okay. And then the chorus,
When Louis D comes in,
your boy Louis D. Fabrizio comes in on that chorus. We meet the devil at the crossroads. Like, if he wasn't singing backup, this probably wouldn't be my number 1. But he, like, takes it to another level. Yeah, I mean, the chorus makes it for me. It's a much poppier sound than anything else
Yeah.
they've done.
is that just a regular bass on that song?
I think it might be, yeah. I feel like usually when I see him playing live stuff that I'm like, oh, maybe they brought out an electric for this one. He's usually got the upright, but this sound, it doesn't sound very uprighty.
Yeah.
But you know what does sound great is the organ in this one.
Yeah, I'm looking
Into it.
I'm looking on this to try and find out who plays, because I'm seeing mandolin, I'm seeing cello,
Yeah.
I'm seeing steel guitar, I'm seeing who plays the fucking organ on this, because it sounds fucking sick.
It does. The addition of the organ and kind of the vibe of the chorus sort of reminds me of like the Hold Steady, that vibe where it's like
Interesting.
this like it's poppy, but it's like this bar band, and just
Yeah.
like I'm just into it. There's no solo on this one either, but
I mean, I
It's-
think the riffage of the
yeah,
of that, like the chorus, is enough to be.
yeah.
It sounds fucking tight.
It's just one of those songs that like, yeah, I kind of resisted making it my number one, but
Yeah,
I can't deny how hooky and great it is.
Yeah, it moved up for me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Like this could be a single on the radio for sure. And this wasn't one of the singles from the record, but
But I also like the incorporating the Devil of the
oh,
Crossroads,
it's so cool.
sort of like that kind of iconic
Right.
blues
It's like
country.
the Robert Johnson thing.
Robert
right? Yeah.
Johnson, selling your soul to, be able to play your guitar or whatever.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I'm into that.
Yeah, I'm
That
into
feels
that.
Tumbledown, even if the music isn't exactly the
Yeah.
Tumbledown we've known and loved.
Yeah,
But it also it's not like it's not like it's MXPX, like it's something else.
This is hard. This is like so not MXPX.
yeah. This is kind of back in that like petty influenced
Yeah.
territory. a
Yeah,
bit.
there are some petty influences. I would even say Places in This Town
Yeah,
has
that.
some petty. The chord progressions kind of feel
Yeah, I
kind
can
of
see
petty.
that.
Or Ever Passing Moment, our least favorite album.
Yep. It sucks.
But on to Arrested in El Paso Blues, which is hella Tumbledown.
El Paso!
Barn Burner.
It was early in the morning on 9/10/9. We were driving through the night near the Mexican line. They said, we caught you red, we can shoot you dead. So tell us what you got or get a bullet in your head. Got the Arrested in El Paso Blues. Drove down the booze. Got the Arrested in El Paso Blues. We've only got our rights and our freedom to lose. They confiscated our green and they took our dough. They arrested us.
That is a sick sounding guitar solo.
This one definitely has a solo.
Yeah.
I really like it, but I want it a little dirtier and a little more country. Like it just again feels. I would have liked to have heard it more of a like, boom digga doom doom boom digga boom, like that kind of version of this, But
Worldly possessions
This is
thrown
great.
about the floor. And I don't think we're gonna make the show no more. So don't you mess with Texas. From experience I know. It's steer far clear of the U.S. Border Patrol.
ain't that the truth?
Well, so here's this song is a barn burner. It would probably be a crowd pleaser.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's fast.
Yeah.
It's 2.5 minutes. It's got shitloads of shredding in it.
Yep.
But it also just feels too close to home for our time,
Yes.
where you're just like the to sing a song about like fucking the authorities can do whatever they want. They
Right.
can take your shit, and you got to be careful of
Yeah.
the U.S. Border Patrol because they'll fuck you up with
Right.
and just like it just at the same time that it's a fucking rad song, it's also I hold at the same time that the reality is a
Totally.
bummer.
I mean, 8 years ago was a little different. 9 years ago, I guess. But like, So did you know this was a true story? Like this really happened to them?
I mean, I assumed,
Yeah.
but I mean, is the putting a bullet in their head
Well,
part?
perhaps not. I was going to say that's what makes it maybe a little questionable almost is like, so they were arrested and questioned by the Border Patrol for being in a big van by the border. Like that's probably the kind of thing that gets you flagged.
Yeah.
But like they probably were also like, damn, this is going to make a great song. You know, like
Yeah.
it's like it gives them some country cred or something.
Right.
But yeah, it's like, it is true that they barely made it to the next stop and they got arrested and, you know, they threw all their, he says,
The
like,
green.
booze and drugs or whatever he says.
Yeah.
So,
Throw out the drugs and the booze.
yeah.
They took our green. They took our dough. So I'm assuming they had some weed
I'm
and
assuming.
probably they just took their money.
Well, he says like they laid all the stuff out in the room and then I assume they got everything back but the paraphernalia.
But
perhaps.
the drugs and
Yeah.
and the booze.
Yeah. But yeah, it's still fun. Did you watch the video for this?
Yeah.
So this was directed by Chris Crary and Mark Naishiff, who you may remember did Gimme Christmas. Seemingly quite a bit bigger budget here.
Diamonds.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, looks bigger budget. I don't know. They're like in a
Or better
junkyard.
gear at least.
Yeah.
But,
it
like,
looks nicer.
The junkyard looks cool as hell. I'm into it.
does.
It's a fun video.
It is a fun video. Rocking out on top of a
Yeah,
car.
man.
You
There's
know?
like fire going.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I like
It's pretty
it.
sweet.
Yeah, it's fun.
I mean, yeah, I still feel like we're on record for doing a rebooted version of Gimme Christmas.
I think it needs to happen.
With a higher,
Yeah.
like,
And at the time I said, Brian Buchelt needs to get in there.
Yeah.
Perhaps I should not have dogged the creators, but perhaps they were limited in their gear at the time. And
perhaps.
I think
but-
it's time for a revisit to a visual approach to Gimme Christmas.
Yes. On to Great Big World.
Old Seattle, give me a reason to stay. Old Seattle, give me a reason to stay. Send me an angel, tell me that she's on her way. Dallas, Texas, tell me your sun still shines. Dallas, Texas, tell me your sun still shines. Send me a bright face, yeah, smile back into mine. It's a great big world and I'm roaming around. A great big world, we've got a party in your town. This great big world, you can't let it get you down. No, no, no.
When this one started, I was like, that's more like it. Like this feels
This is a
little
great
more
song.
country.
Yeah. This is probably my number 4.
It's a contender for me for sure.
Yeah. It's a. So do we only have 2 of your songs?
Yeah. Same with you, right?
No, I have Empty Bottle, Meet the Devil, and Places in This Town.
That's right. I forgot. Wait,
My
Places is
first-
number 3.
First 3 songs.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we won't get to my number 3 for a while, but I think it's always a little jarring when it's like this very strong country sound, and it's like Seattle right away.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Oh, Seattle.
Seattle. I'm like, oh, okay. And he shouts out Dallas pretty quickly after
Yeah.
that. And this also made me wonder, like, is this about moving to Waco? I feel
I
like the
think-
whole record kind of has the like tension between like being from Bremerton moving to Dallas,
Bro.
or Austin, Texas area.
Waco. Yeah. Bro, some of these songs, if you listened to the Holly episode,
Okay,
some of these
I need
songs,
to listen.
especially
She's
song.
in Texas. Yeah, for
this
sure.
song,
I figured.
it jumped out at me so much.
Yeah, I want to say. Sorry, I'm going to say a little bit more about Great Big World before we move on to that. But yes, I figured that was like, you know, Holly's from Texas, whatever. But just that the harmonica sounds great in Great Big World, as we had shouted out before. Plenty of solos in this one. I think the harmonica comes toward the end, right? Yeah. Did you watch the video for this one?
I only thought that
It's
rested
kinda
in El
just-
Paso.
This was like mostly performance and live footage.
Oh yes, then I did. Yes,
It was
yes.
also directed by Chris Query, who was the co-director of the Rested in El Paso video. Yeah. There's a solo earlier, but it's anyway, I'm into the harmonica edition. Wherever it is.
I have no fucking clue.
It's in the song somewhere.
Yeah, it is.
Just
It
listen to
sounds
it.
great. I didn't put down the timestamp.
You gotta love that Mardi Gras. Oh no, New Orleans, you gotta love that Mardi Gras.
So they're
Sounds so
in
good.
Bremerton.
New
They're
Orleans.
in New Orleans. They're in Texas. They're all over the goddamn place.
Yes. There's a lot going on.
Yep. So let's shout out our boy who did the harmonica, who was
Harmonica Anderson.
Cheban Tiger.
Yeah, that's a cool name.
Is that am I pronouncing that first name right?
Chebon?
Cheban?
I don't know. I
don't
just
know.
want my last name to be Tiger now.
Yeah. I'm assuming New Old Stock is a band.
I would assume. It's the kind of thing I should have looked up.
Yep. That's par for the course. But our boy Louis D from Gasoline Heart, crushing it. All right, let's move on to She's in Texas and I'm Insane.
When I was young, my father told me, son, you'll be a man. And when that day has come, when you meet your girl, you'll know from the start. I think I met my girl, 'cause I know in my heart she's in Texas and I'm insane. She's like the sun and I'm like the rain. I'll run her like water down a drain. 'Cause my girl's in Texas and I'm insane.
So that's half the song. It's you know what I really like? These songs are so they're very short songs.
That's
like
right.
so many of these are under 3 minutes long.
I like it.
And
Get in, get out.
you're looking at 238, 246,
Funk
302, 228. You know, this one is 224. It's
They don't
great.
overstay their welcome.
Oh man.
So yeah, this is kind of a continuation of the last song, as you were saying, thematically.
Yeah. But so you need to listen to the Holly Up.
Okay.
Mike Herrera, Mr. Steal Your Girl, met Holly at an MXPX show
Right?
and remembered her a year later, I think it was. But she had different hair and he still remembered her. And she had a boyfriend for a long time. And they got engaged.
Uh-oh.
And she couldn't let him go.
Yeah. Few can resist the mic.
Yeah, man, Mr. Steal Your Girl.
Yeah.
Like, watch out.
I mean,
And this guy was an MXPX fan.
oof. Let's get him on the pod.
It's the most insane story.
I gotta
so
listen.
if you guys haven't listened to the most recent Mike Herrera podcast where he has Holly on, do yourself a favor and listen because, oh my God, it's such a great story. It's absolutely insane. I mean, like, she's in Texas and I'm insane. This guy who's just like, they're just kids that were like so connected to each other.
Yeah.
It's bananas. But
What if he breaks up our relationship? What if he wants to take one of us with him to Waco?
bro, I'd have to go.
Yeah, that's right.
Just like
Have a nice life.
if Mike was like,
Can't get you out of my head. I'm insane.
he's like, John, like, you show up late everywhere, but
But I'm a big fan, Mike.
it's like if you were more punctual, bro.
Yep. I'm gonna show up for these shows at like 4:00.
But also the thing with this most recent pod is that it's sort of like, we have this like thing about like, oh, Mike, he's like so amazing. But then like Tom C and Holly are just like
Shitting on him.
not like shitting on him, but just like if he's not asking for help, then he's probably fucking something up. But I don't know. It's just like, oh man, he just seems like just a regular dude.
Yeah.
But also, as I had mentioned on Twitter, this hot sauce thing.
Oh, yeah, I meant to mention this.
He's so like Legionnaire had like at some point put out like they were gonna put out this like small run of hot sauce, and Mike loved it so much it was like 200 bottles. He bought 150 of them, and he's coming to the end of his stash of it.
Okay.
And I'm saying, like, if it's 150 bottles good, like, they've got to do something to get this shit back in production. Because shout out to Texas, because I'm a fan of the Yellowbird hot sauce. Mm-hmm. And Yellowbird is a hot sauce that's made in, I believe it's made in Austin.
Okay.
And it's delicious, but I put hot sauce on every goddamn thing. And so I had tweeted at Mike that he's got to get back.
Yeah.
And he said, this has been percolating for some time now, that they've been thinking about it.
Yeah.
And Slick Shoes tweeted at us.
Oh, really?
And said that we've had it and we agree, more hot sauce, please.
All right.
So,
well, we pitched him a lot of pun-based names.
We
for the
did.
hot sauce.
So you want to throw your what you said?
Like I said, pepper my house be there.
I said let it habanero.
Chili magnet.
I said your poblano my emergency.
That was a solid one. I meant to tell you that. But I think you ended in the best place.
Oh, the spice scale?
Yes.
Okay, so the hot sauces would have a scale. So starting with I'm okay, you're okay. Mm-hmm. Just like the most mild of hot sauces. And then the struggle. Then kicking and screaming.
Sure.
Then so kill me. Finally waiting for the world to end.
I think you nailed it. So if you can come up with 5 kinds of hot sauce, then we're in good shape.
Well, we already have pepper my house be there, let habanero, chili magnet, your poblano my emergency.
Yeah, those are free to use, Mike. Just go
Yeah.
for it. He didn't respond to any of those.
He literally just tweeted at me right this
Oh,
second.
really? What did
He says, in replying to us and Slick Shoes, I'm trying to acquire a hot sauce factory as we tweet.
Oh, man, that guy. He's always doing a lot of things.
Yep.
Hot sauce factory. Oh, Mike.
No, but like this is one of the reasons I tweeted this, because this seems not unlike something that Mike would get down with.
Yeah, sure.
He's
I'll make
like
a hot sauce.
fucking get down with some wine.
Yeah.
Yeah, make some beer. Fucking of course. You know, just like he already did a clothing company. It's all about the food right now. It's all like it's one of the things about hot sauce is that all of the ingredients that you need are relatively cheap.
Right.
It's one of the products that would make multiple purchases. So people will come back and buy more and more and more. Unlike an apparel company
Sure.
or, you know, something like wine, which is more expensive and has like legal stuff with like shipping to certain states. Hot sauce,
Good to go.
like 10 or 12 bucks a bottle or something.
That would be
you
a
know.
fun ep, us putting hot sauce on various things.
Oh, God,
and-
I love hot sauce so much. So what's your deal? Are you
I'm pro hot sauce.
You're pro hot sauce?
I don't know if I could hang with, probably I'd stay at the struggle and not move on. I don't know.
You wouldn't get to kicking and screaming.
I doubt it.
No.
I'm not a, yeah. I like hot sauce a lot. I'm not a big, like, it's so spicy you're going to lose your fucking mind kind of hot sauce, but.
So are you, have you ever watched Hot Ones?
I don't think so.
You haven't?
Well,
Okay.
I'll give you Three Amigos and I'll watch Hot Ones.
Okay, Hot Ones is not a movie.
I didn't think so.
It is a YouTube show where Sean Evans, the host, interviews celebrities, athletes, musicians, actors, people of interest.
Uh-huh.
And
Has Mike been on?
he is not. But he interviews people and they eat 10 increasingly spicy hot
That's good.
wings.
It's a good hook.
So they start out with something really mild and basic.
Weird
and
Al
then
did one.
What's that?
Weird Al did one.
He did. He was the end of the last season. And the beginning of the next new season starts next week with the much anticipated, much asked for Gordon Ramsay.
Okay.
He has been one of the most requested people.
This looks really fun.
Yeah.
They have a lot of fun guests.
Yes, they do. So if you haven't watched Hot Ones, just go on YouTube and just binge episodes of people suffering. The Key and Peele episode is amazing.
Nice.
There's so many amazing interviews, and their team asks outstanding deep cut questions.
Nice.
And
While people are like sweating and crying and stuff.
Yeah, but they're like, people are like, that. How did you know that? That's
that's
a
cool.
great. People who are like consistently, that's a really great question.
That's cool.
And so
should
it's
watch
not
that.
it's not just like your standard bullshit questions.
Yeah.
So
I'll check it out.
Mike, give us the goddamn hot sauce.
Yeah, where's the hot sauce?
We're about it.
We will run your factory.
Yeah. I've been thinking about like, should I bring Mike some Chicago hot sauce?
Yeah, why not?
We should bring him some local stuff.
Sounds great.
And see if he's into it, since he's a hot sauce guy.
Yeah.
I'll tweet at him and ask him what style the hot sauce is in.
That sounds good. I feel like a Tumbledown theme hot sauce makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it'd have to be.
The pepper of San Antone.
It'd have to be. The devil. Meet the devil.
Oh, that'd be great. That's a great name.
Like it'd have to have like a ghost pepper
Yeah.
or something, or the Maruga Scorpion, or just something like
Sounds right.
something fucking horrible. Dead Man Walking would be another.
That's a good name.
No, these are all great names.
I should say
Bad News.
Yeah, see, Tumbledown is on the hot sauce. They should also do a whiskey, obviously.
Yeah. Didn't they?
Did they? Maybe they did.
I bet they did.
Well, what do I know? I don't know anything.
Fucking, we missed it. We don't know anything. God damn it.
I wanted to shout out Chiban Tiger is in fact the lead vocalist and guitarist and harmonica player, obviously, of the new Old Stock, which also features Jack Parker and the Troutland Brothers. So
wow.
Go check them out.
So we listened to Drag the River.
Yeah.
And I failed to listen to any of these other bands.
Oh, shit, this one.
Because fucking...
These fading jeans have seen some better days. On my way,
Yeah.
there's no heartache.
Buy hot sauce from that guy.
Oh, man. It's
Yeah,
fucking
see,
good.
nothing on this record gets to that level.
It doesn't get to Son of a Gun level.
No.
But let's move on to St. Peter.
In my shoe, 3 more in my jeans. I may be drunk and closing time, but at least my hands are clean. My hands, they are clean. My hands, they are clean. I feed the fire inside with match and gasoline.
This song doesn't do much for me.
I have, in my notes.
Yeah. It just seems, I don't know. It's probably one of the songs on the record, probably the least favorite.
Agreed. 1,000 more times.
This song I'm into.
I am as well.
I'ma quit drinking 1,000 more times just to make sure that I get it right. Stuck on this stage, stuck in this life, while my darling's out there tonight. Drinking, gambling, rolling and cursing, picking my guitar and such. It's part of my life, don't need rehearsing much. I've seen righteous men stumble and bad men cry, been mixed up in trouble.
Drinking, gambling, brawling,
brawling,
and cursing, picking my guitar and such.
You get that tattooed on my neck.
Yeah, this is the song I was referring to earlier, where it's like, guess what, guys?
Yeah.
Drinking, gambling, just drinking and gambling, brothers. Drinking, gambling, brawling, and cursing.
Whoever that character was just now, I think should reemerge.
Gambling,
Drinking and gambling.
just drinking and gambling.
That's the
Just
prospector.
bring me my whiskey. I'm gonna start gambling.
Tumbledown prospector. It's my fave character.
There's my gold.
Yeah, I'm into this as a ballad. It's not on Son of a Gun level. So, like,
No.
if you're going to come with that ballad, got to make it a little better. But I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's because it's got that.
Mandolin sounds great.
Out on the dance floor up late every night, singing these songs until dawn. Drowning my sorrows, wondering just where I went wrong.
Drinking and gambling.
I lost you in my
It's a good one.
Drinking and gambling.
Yep.
Yep.
I got nothing else to say about this. Ooh.
Dead Man Walking is a great hot sauce name.
There it is.
It's a foot stomper. That, the bass line,
So good.
following the guitar.
This is my number 3.
Is it? Oh wow! It's the also the shortest song on the album.
Yeah. Punk style, baby.
Well, I mean, I guess if you don't include
Not hungover.
Not Hungover.
It's kind of a bonus track, though.
it feels one of the reasons I make it feels like a bonus track is because of the brevity and the recording quality.
Yeah, we'll get
And
there.
because also the first Tumbledown album included a bonus track,
Right.
and this sort of feels like in that
In
same
that
vein.
vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one, though, it's not like, it's kind of lightweight as far as, like, it's not going to stick with me tremendously, but, like, I
No.
just can't deny that country, like, burn, burn, ding, burn, ding, burn. I'm just so into it. Like, from that opening riff, I'm just like, oh, yeah, like, this feels dirty country to me.
But here's the thing, though. The chorus does nothing for me.
Oh, really? I like it with the harmonies.
My ship was going down right when I saw
So you're on board for this.
Yeah, it has, because the vocals are a little blown out.
Yeah, it's cool.
explosion made a booming sound that no one could survive, but I'm alive. My body's numb, but I'm alive.
I'm ready for something
Sure.
big.
I'm a dead man walking on a trail gone cold. Still searching for the answers. I don't need to
Yeah.
be told.
It just
I
doesn't.
see that.
It doesn't
doesn't get there.
give me.
Click into the next gear.
No, it doesn't click in.
I think it does
in the
for me.
way in the way of how so many of the choruses on the first album are
Yeah.
just so perfect.
I definitely agree with that. I like it because the guitar comes in like double time, and it kind of gets into that like Johnny Cash rhythm of the classic country, like I was saying, with like ding, ding, jigga, jigga, jing, jing, jigga. Like I'm just a sucker for that kind of rhythmic strum.
Yeah.
I don't think you were listening to anything I just said.
No, you were. Yes, sorry. I heard what you just said. The Johnny Cash rhythmic strum.
Chicka, chicka, ching.
Danny Stairs was just texting me.
Of course it was.
Because, of course, our dad, Jordan.
Under the stairs.
Yep.
Bad news, bro.
I took a gang of pills tonight.
That
Nothing
steel
seems to
guitar.
make my head
Kings of
right.
Hollywood style.
Maybe
Yes.
it's time to face the facts, time to face the morning light. I walked so many miles today, tried to lose my troubles to get away, but a couple times over just ain't far enough away. I've placed my hope inside this jar and traded it in at my favorite bar for a bottle of Mississippi Nights with
sun was going up when we
this
were
is
laying
this
down.
is 100% before everything and after territory.
You know, I saw somebody online say this record is just before everything and after, but with a country twist.
Oh no!
And at first I was like, that's completely baseless. And then I was like, well, like, I don't agree with it, but it's not without merit. So
this song.
this is probably my number 4, by the way. I love this song.
What?
Yeah.
This is an outrage.
Because it's Kings of Hollywood.
The lowest that I've ever been.
Can I tell you why?
So come on
That's why.
down, my
150% because I'm a sucker for lap steel guitar. Like, without that, I wouldn't like the song. I like that.
I love the bass and the guitar doing the following each other.
Yeah. Well, I like that part. But the, like, when he's like, I got pills, or whatever he says in the beginning, I'm like, oh boy. But then as soon as I'm like,
What was I just saying to you? Something about what we gotta do.
it sounds so good.
We'll feel better or worse.
This is 100% better than Kings of Hollywood, though.
Yes, certainly.
There's,
But you can see why that song was in my head, because when we imagined the country version of it, it's basically this.
yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. I have said some negative things about Quit Your Life. I feel
You
like
said it was an abomination and the worst thing they've ever recorded or something like that.
I feel like I'm on record saying it is unequivocally the worst
Yes.
song that they ever
I
recorded.
think we said objectively.
Objectively, it's the worst song, but this might objectively be
close.
the worst.
Yeah, I think we've collectively softened on Quit Your Life a bit in the months since this ep. This song, however,
Listen, this is
sun was always down and the sun was always shining.
if this song were a little slower,
It's pretty much the same.
this is a Tumbledown song.
Yes, which is funny because at the time you were like, "This is a pop country song."
I said this long before,
we were listening to Tumbledown.
long before. 100% this could easily transition to a Tumbledown song.
And I would probably like it 1,000 times better.
A million percent. A million percent.
However, the lap steel guitar sounds incredible. We should say it's by Todd Bean is performing it,
Yes.
formerly of the country punk band Lucero. And then he's currently in this band Glossary, which I don't know, but I think they're more kind of a straight ahead rock band. Anyway, I like the song. I understand why you wouldn't, but that lap steel, it just sounds so
here's
good.
the thing. It's not that I dislike the song. I don't think I dislike any Tumbledown songs.
Agreed.
It's like I don't think I dislike any of them in a way that like I cringe with some MXPX songs.
Kings of Hollywood, for example.
Kings of Hollywood, just pulling
Boom, boom.
boom boom gotta get the snaps in there. But here, can I just for a second, I just want to point out in scrolling through my iTunes and then getting down into Tumbledown, I got Tom Waits and Tom Petty right there before Tumbledown.
That's right.
And it makes
What a great trio.
God, we needed to do a Tom Waits
Waits
a Tom Waits podcast.
I am so there for that.
We can call it Rain Pods.
Ooh, that's good. I was wondering what it was going to be.
I love Tom Waits so much. We should know what we should do. We should go up to Minneapolis and we should go and record it at 9th and Hennepin.
That'd be perfect.
Do you know I play 9th and Hennepin every time I drive in that neighborhood? Because he is not only is Tom Waits just one of the greatest singer-songwriters alive today.
Agreed.
And maybe of the past
Yeah.
50 years. I don't know.
Yes, agreed.
More. I don't know. He's just a genius.
Yeah.
In our lifetime, at least. I feel confident saying he's the greatest singer-songwriter in our lifetime. But so my brother and I have had this conversation over Christmas that he just doesn't get Tom Waits. And
I could see that.
And like I feel like that is a lot of people.
Yeah,
who are just
sure.
like, I don't get it.
I think a lot of people can't get past the voice.
No, but so I think the people who can't get past Tom Waits also can't get on board with Leonard Cohen.
Yeah.
And that is a bummer.
Your loss.
You are losing at life. If you can't listen to the poetry of Leonard Cohen and Tom Waits, your life is in deficit. Because you're losing.
Agreed. I should say there is an existing Tom Waits podcast called Down in the Hole, which not a bad title, but it's no rain pods. Anyway, what are we talking about? The sun was going up and we were laying down.
You know what? I just had an idea.
Nickelback on top of Nickelback.
We are doing
This on top of Kings of Hollywood.
Here's the thing. Wait for it.
Oh boy.
No, this is going to be a thing because what were we just saying that just a little bit slower
Mm-hmm.
and
You're gonna slow it down.
Hold on. Okay.
Tumbledown song.
Best friends making music, we were feeling good. The top was always down and the sun was always shining bright.
I think we instantly improved that song.
I think at 0.75 speed.
It's the ideal way to listen to Kings of Hollywood.
I remember singing to the radio.
It sounds so bad.
On the Sunset Strip, we were driving slow.
The top was always down.
The top was always down, and the
Oh my god. Slowing it down accentuates how produced it sounds.
Yeah, for sure.
Just listen to the voice.
stars were always shining bright.
It sounds rough.
Let's get back to Empty Bottle.
Yep. Yeah. What were we
We're about to
talking
do Drink to Forget, which is what I feel like we're doing now.
Okay.
This killing time is killing me. So all I do is drink to take her memory off my mind, to lose the thoughts I think. Bartender pour a fast because my lonesome past is catching up with me. My mind don't wanna stick around to keep me company. I drink to drown my sorrows. I drink to have a good time. 'Cause when a memory haunts me, the tears fall like wine. That's why I drink to forget. That's why I drink to forget. It hasn't happened yet. That's why I drink to forget.
Like this one.
What does tears fall like wine mean?
Hey man, sometimes the wine's just falling. I don't know.
Fucking falling right out of your face.
That's right.
Just tears are falling right out of your face, bro.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think about it too hard. I guess you knock over a wine bottle and it just falls everywhere, and you're just crying, and it's one of those nights. Yeah, I like this one. It's pretty good. I don't have super strong opinion, but I'm into it generally.
Yep. I am super into this next song.
Yeah,
A lot.
It kind of almost is a top 3 contender.
It is.
I'm not hungover, I'm just sick. Yes, I had some drinks last night, but that just can't be it. Someone is playing.
Almost more than Great Big World.
Yeah.
This could be a top. This might be tied for 4. It's a minute and 43 and it still has a goddamn solo.
I know.
So great.
I'm not hungover, I'm just sick. Hell yes, I had some drinks last night, but that just can't be it. Someone
So fun.
Yeah. Hell yes, I had some drinks last night. So I was thinking about this song last week after we had some whiskey, and then I went home, and then the next day I was
Not feeling
sick.
good. I think I asked you on my like, you still feeling good? And you were like,
No,
yeah.
but
It's the next day. That's
but the next day,
Yeah.
I legitimately was sick,
Yeah, sorry, bud.
and I had been sick all week. And I was thinking,
It wasn't from the whiskey.
it was
Right.
100%
Yeah.
not from the whiskey. I wasn't hungover.
I did have some drinks.
Hell yes, I had some
However.
drinks with John, but I wasn't hungover. I had a goddamn virus.
As we mentioned, this feels a bit tossed off and bonus tracky. Like
But
it's
it's-
clearly performed live and short. But I wish they
but-
kind of would have done a real version because it's so fun.
But it's
Yeah, it's like this.
no, but it's better because
Oh,
it's an
definitely
actual
better.
song.
Yeah, this is just a dude
It's-
playing the Deliverance thing.
God, yeah, it's so good.
It is really fun.
I'm not hungover.
See, that's my vibe, baby.
Yeah.
Yes, I
The hell yes, I had some drinks last night.
I kind of wish. See, and again, I feel like part of its charm is that it's not produced. It's just kind of raw sounding. And I sort of wish they would have just done a little more polished version, but kept that rawness.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Maybe it's good as it is.
I think it might be good as it is. I don't, especially when the slow down at the end.
I know. That really kind of. At first, I was like, should this be in my top 3? And then when they slowed it down, I was like, ooh, it might have to be.
Yeah.
But then I was like, I don't know if I can make this one. But I might like it
part
more
of
than
me-
Dead Man Walking. I don't know.
Part of me thought that this could be in your top
Yeah,
3.
it might have been. There were a lot of contenders.
I actually thought about this myself, and listening to it compared to, because I said this could be my top 4.
Yeah.
Would be but they're both so
Yeah,
good
they're really
because
fun.
they both have that.
Yeah.
I'm not hungover.
Right.
I'm just
Yeah. Both good.
Just yeah. Anyway,
Well, the bottle has been emptied.
almost.
Are we the metaphorical bottle at least? The album. 3 hours. Here we are.
We are getting there.
We might have to cut up the movies thing a bit or something. Or whatever.
No, I am editing this on a Sunday.
That's true. That's fair. Well, then let's wrap it up.
Yes.
If you would like to tell us your thoughts about Empty Bottle, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, and weigh in. You can also rate and review us or subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Or you can leave us a voicemail at 872-762-4763. 872-7-MAG-POD.
You can Gmail us at magnifiedpod@gmail.com. Or if you would like to support this humble effort, could do so over at patreon.com/magnifiedpod. Anything else we want to plug or say?
Well, if you haven't gotten your tickets for the Chicago MXPX 5-Iron show,
Better do it.
get your shit together.
It's like 75% sold out, right? That's what I saw.
Something like, is it?
Yeah.
That's okay. By the time this comes out, you may
be donezo.
You could be donezo. But if you want to come hang with MagPod Nation and PX Nation, you better jump on it.
We'll bring sour candy, hot sauce.
We'll bring the pod. We'll bring the pod with us.
Yeah.
What?
The pod always is in our hearts wherever we go.
Yeah, we'll bring the Sour Patch Kids. We'll bring it all.
Indeed. So do that, get those tickets, and then on the next episode we'll cover part 3 of Tumbledown, when it'll be about time for some gambling and a podcast at our house. And it wouldn't be the same without you. So join us, won't you?
I took the southbound bus to the end of the line. I was running from the growing troubles of our time. We'll try to get away, or we try to give it back, but you know it never works. Yeah, you know it's never gonna work. You know it's never gonna work.
So I do feel super confident about this being my number 2.
Yeah. And not your number 1?
No, I mean in that
Oh,
it being
and that it's
in my number 3.
Yeah. Your top 3, I mean.
Yeah, in my top 3. I've had whiskey.
It's a great song.
Don't question me after this empty bottle.
No.